The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey everybody, Macho Man. Salvage, you're listening to Mike Trash Talking Radio.com. And that's another business. Say it for the Macho Man.
Welcome fans to our radio land. Listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock. You hear guys like myself, the youth gambling band, come on. And that's my favorite.
Talking radio show from 7 to whenever we get done is like you losing a screwdriver. Cut, Rose, please, this is Revolution. The other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one together forever. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ivan Golub. I'm here to tell you about Talking Trash. The Trash 7 to 10. Tuesday night, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Alright, hey, this is the animal. What happened to what them and taking the road where we can do? If you know it could be your listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking. What do you guys say about Trash Talk? I just say that I just love Trash Talk Radio. You're not a picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talk Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, when the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
All right. Trash Talking Radio, as soon as I get my cursor up, I can stop the, hopefully. Yay, you stopped it, I think. All right, now I can put us on the screen, hopefully. This. Well, I got you up on the screen. What about me? Hold on. Let's put you off. Okay. Try this again. Ah, there you are. How you doing, Doug?
You are. I am doing well.
That's good. That's good. And we're breathing and everything, you know. That's half the
better
battle.
than the alternative.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so yeah, we're back again, and this time we didn't have as many issues. I'm having issues getting the stream up, but I did get the stream up on one of my screens, but I think it's my screen and not the. I don't think it's an issue with Facebook. Hey, by the way, they're only keeping our stuff up for like a month now instead of the years and years that I had before. They've now restricted us to like a month. So it's kind of weird to think about that. I used to have shows dating 10 years on there, and now I have like a month. So I guess they ran out of hard drive space. Anyway, what's happening? How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Mike.
Or did I ask you
I
that?
got hearing aids.
Oh, how's that work?
I got hearing aids.
Is that good?
Yes.
I mean, like I think that,
You know what's... Go ahead.
no. Well, I was just gonna say. I mean, I've had hearing problems for probably about, I don't know, at least 10 years, because I played rock music for so long. And every once in a while, I get to the point where I can't hear anything out of my right ear, and then it pops, and I can hear again, but I can't hear as well out of my right ear as my left ear. So I guess I'm left-eared. So, are both ears? You have both ears, or just one ear?
I have both ears. What I was told by the audiologist was that I can't hear women. And I always thought that was selective hearing disease. But I can't hear high-pitched voices. So she said my music listening is suffered because when people go up high, I can't hear it.
Correct. Yeah.
So now my hearing aids sync with my phone.
Oh yeah, those are cool. I've seen them. They actually are pretty
And,
neat.
and if I buy one device, I can sync it with the TV.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
the quality of music isn't as good. I still need decent headphones to listen to music well.
Yeah.
But I listened to Bon Jovi today with just my hearing aids.
Okay.
And it sounded pretty good.
That's cool.
Wasn't the best.
I can sing Bon Jovi nowadays, which is I couldn't in the past, but I can. I don't know why why my voice is getting higher as I'm getting older, but yeah, I can sing a lot higher. I can sing "Living on a Prayer." Oh, look, we got some people in the chat room. Hello, both of you. At least two. Oh no, there's more than two. Oh, hey, this is good. We got all kinds of stuff going on now. People are paying attention to us. That's scary. I'll tell you a funny story. Now I told you. I think I may have talked about it I may or may not have talked about it on the show. So if I talked about it on the show, please say I talked about it on the show. But when we had our show in, what was it, November? Or I think it was November. We had a guy come up that came to our show who was a wrestler, and he is now retired and stuff. And we gave him a place. We gave him a spot at our table, and then he took our whole table and kind of irritated me. And then he actually had the guts to complain about us as promoters. Did I tell you about that story?
Yeah, you briefed me on it.
Okay.
But,
here's an update. So even though this guy complained about us, I just let it go. I wasn't gonna let it go, but I just figured he's not in the business really anymore, so it doesn't really matter. And it kind of perturbed me because he never was a giant guy in the business. He was just an indie guy, and he worked for ECW, so he did have a lot of airtime and stuff like that. But what it comes right down to is that he's not as big of a deal as he thought he was. Okay, and it's not a big deal to me. But I don't like being disrespected, saying that we disrespected him because we were running a show. And I went over and I said, I said hi to him and I talked to him a little bit. Then I went and got myself a table, and he said, "Is that table for me?" And I thought, okay, I'll share the table with him. I'm going to have gimmicks that I wanted to sell. And he had gimmicks he wanted to sell. I thought I'd share the table, and that'd be cool. Well, he took the whole table. So I was really mad when I found out he took the whole table. But I thought, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because the show's over and I can't sell any gimmicks now. And I figured he was there because Tony invited him and I didn't invite him. But I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. Well, then he writes a post about our show saying we disrespected him. Well, that irked me. And I was going to make a big deal out of that. And then I thought about it and I said, who cares? It doesn't care. I'm not going to invite him to any more of my shows. It's not a big deal. Okay? Well, that's the last I think you've heard of what that incident happened.
Right.
Now, here's the update, and this is going to be kind of funny. So the update is he showed up at our school. And I'm like, why? Why? And then it's first his partner showed up. And I asked, who's that guy? I don't know who he is. And he said, oh, he works with this guy. I said, oh, great. That's just what we need. 2 of them. And so I thought I just decided I was going to listen to what they had to say. And he told me that the guy wants to run our building. Okay, I'm a little more interested because he wants to run our building now because that helps pay the bills. So then I find out that I said to my partners, I don't know that I really want to deal with this guy because he's a real pain. Not the guy's partner. I told him how he came into our show and then started to harass us. And then I said, I don't know that I want him at our school. The money's good. And he said, well, he's looking for 3 dates. Okay, so I'm starting to forgive him a little bit. And I thought, I'm going to let it go, and we'll just go on from there. He knows who I am. I know who he is. I never talked bad about him, but he was talking bad about us, me and Tony. So I'm sitting at home working on the show, and all of a sudden I get a call on Facebook, a Facebook call. I thought, who the crap is calling me on Facebook? Because I hate Facebook calling. Facebook calling is so bad. I mean, if you want to do a video call, it's okay, but audio call, why would he call me on Facebook instead of calling me on my phone? So I answered it, and it was the guy that dissed us. And I said, what's happening? And he said he was trying to meet up with one of our other partners, Johnny Cashmere. Johnny Cashmere is the star of the show, of our group. He's done more than any of us. He's done more than I have. He's been in the business just a hair longer than me, but he's wrestled and was wrestled all over the world. He's wrestled in Japan. He's the name in our group. And so I asked him, I asked the guy when he called, by the way, just for reference, let's name him Tommy. Tommy's the guy. Okay. So this guy, Tommy, calls me on Facebook and he says, I'm trying to track down, or I said, well, first off, I said, what's up, Tommy? He goes, well, I was wondering if you knew where Cashmere was. Like, why would I know where he is? I don't see him every day. But I said, no, why? What's going on? He goes, well, I just wanted to talk to him about the show that we're going to do in December. And I said, oh, okay. Well, let me know what do you need to know, and I'll see if I can track him down. And he said, yeah. Then he started talking about the other guys in our group dissed him. I'm like, the other guys is me and Tony. So and I said, I'd like to talk to you about that. I said, well, tell me about what we did, because I'm the other guy. Tell me how we dissed you. He goes, well, disrespected me. Well, okay, how did we disrespect you? You came to the show. We gave you a table. Uh, you took my table, which I carried over to you, and I talked to you for some time when I was over there. So what did we do to disrespect you? He goes, "Oh, well, you're fine. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. It's your. I didn't know you were even part of it at that point." I said, "Well, yeah, but you dissed it. You said we dissed you, and I want to know how we dissed you." He said, "Well, your partner." Now, Tony doesn't diss anybody. Tony's a very laid back, not dissable person. He doesn't diss anyone. He doesn't disrespect anybody. I said, "Well, how did he disrespect you?" He said, "Well, he ignored me while I was at your show and didn't even introduce me." I said, "You were introduced in the beginning of the segment." He said, "Yeah, but that was by Matt Boyd, one of the wrestlers." I said, "Yeah, but you were still introduced." And that seems to be what your beef is you were not introduced. And Tony was running around like crazy because he was running the show, putting out fires. Anyway, so he goes, "Well, at the school, when I'm walking by, he was just on his phone texting somebody." We're like, "So what? What's the big deal?" And so he goes, "Well, you and Johnny, you guys have done a lot. You guys are the stars of that place." And I'm like, "Okay." He goes, he was just like trying to show me that Tony isn't worth anything. Tony's worth a lot. Tony builds things. Tony is the reason why our school is getting put together the way it is, because he spends hours and hours putting stuff together, building stuff, and makes that school. He's making that school look good. Him and Mitch is putting the production together. It's really coming together. And Tony's building all. He took this 200-pound television and put it way up on the wall. I was there last week, and he was on a scaffold trying to put this big thing up for the lights, the big scaffolding for the lights and stuff. And man, I would never diss Tony, because Tony, he's a hard-working MF. That's all I got to tell you. If anybody works, that's the man that works. Anyway, I just kept trying to get him to tell me what Tony has done. And he goes, "Well, when I walked by, he was on his phone." Okay. What's that mean? Anyway, so I had a discussion with Tony, and I said, "I want you to know what he said so that you were aware." And I told him what he said. And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I'm not going to ask you to do anything in particular, but since he's going to be paying some of our bills, maybe you should go up and introduce yourself next time he's there and pay a little attention to him if you want. I don't care." He goes, I get it. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. So he understands that it's just business. It's not kissing up. It's not just business. And he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So we're gonna make peace as long as he has money and wants to rent our building. We'll have peace with him. So, but it's just stupid. I mean, the guy if he's listening, if he's one of the people that are listening, you're gonna be really pissed off at me, because I think it's silly, the stuff he's worried about, the stuff he's complaining about. It means nothing. If I went to a show, I was invited to a show, and I went to the show, I would go there and I'd enjoy the show, and then I'd leave. I wouldn't make a big deal over anything else, because nothing else really matters. You were invited to a show. You were able to sell your pictures. You weren't charged for a table. You stole my table. So, and I didn't complain about it to him, but, I did want to make him realize that he had a table given to him by me, and I specifically made sure he was comfortable at that table, even though I was mad at him because it was my table and I didn't get to sell anything that night. But I don't care. I mean, it really isn't that big of a deal to me, but it apparently is to him. But anyway, that's the update with it, is that Tony's going to play ball and do what he has to do to make Tommy feel like he's special.
So So you're going to kiss his rear end? For
No,
goodness sake.
no, I'm not going to kiss it. I'm just going to make him aware that we know he's there, and shake his hand, and take his money, and walk to the back.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it. I'm going to be professional about, hey, this is the same stuff I did when I was a salesperson. You know, you just got to make the person feel special. Because if you don't, they feel hurt and butthurt and all that stuff. And it just really kind of perturbs me that a guy his age is all worried about
How old
this.
is he? How old is he?
He's at least 66, maybe 68. I think he said he was 68. But I mean, you know, he did do stuff in the business I didn't do, but that doesn't make him better than me. I did things he probably didn't do either, you know. So I'm not worried about. I'm not trying to see who has the bigger resume, because, you know, basically I'm not a wrestler. So he's already done more than me in wrestling. He hasn't done more than Johnny's done, and Johnny is our star. So, but again, I don't care. I just want to do business. I just want to make sure that everybody is playing on the same page, so that there is no problems like this, which I think is I personally think this is very childish. So that's my biggest.
So what kind of show is he going to do?
He's going to do a wrestling show. They're renting the building for 3 shows. They're going to do a storyline. One leads to the other, and you know, and we're going to see how it works. I mean, I really hope it works well. I hope that he gets his money's worth. I hope that we all get our money's worth. I hope he wants to continue doing shows, and I hope we still want to continue doing shows with him. I'm not in it for trying to look better than anyone else. I'm in it to try to make this a school that people. Oh, so there's another thing that happened. This is big. This is pretty big. Do you know what the Monster Factory is?
No.
It is a wrestling school that was started probably in the 70s by Larry Sharp, and it's turned in some really big names that have been with the WWE. Some of them are like The Big Show. Damian Priest went there. You name it. A lot of these people went there, and it's got a legacy. We rented it for a show last year, and we lost our butts on it. But anyway, we rented their building. He's going through financial issues, and he's going to shut down his school in the next 2 months. And so I talked to Tony. I said, well, what if, I mean, he's out of money. He took a loan out for $20,000 to keep the building open and all that. And he's not a really good businessman. Let's put it that way. Okay. I said it. I like Danny. Danny Cage is a really good guy. He's made a lot of mistakes. I'm not saying I haven't made a lot of mistakes, but he's made a lot of mistakes. And so I said to Tony, how about, what would happen if we invited him? Now, he doesn't have a school now. He doesn't have a building. I said, what if we invited him to bring his students to our school? Because he's got a bunch of students. And let's say we charged him whatever we charged him, and the rest is his. That fills our school up. Now, all of a sudden, instead of having 9 students, we have 29 students. And if we got, a decent rate, we're not asking that. We're not trying to gouge anyone. I mean, because our rates are relatively cheap for what we are doing. But that would fill our building up and give us an affiliation with the Monster Factory, which has an affiliation with WWE. So now all of a sudden, we, instead of being just the new guys on the block, we can be the new guys on the block. We can be yes. And that will give us more credibility. Now, we already have credibility with me and with Johnny, but that would give us a big piece of credibility that even if it didn't work out, the fact is we're going to be noticed even more. And Danny says he's interested in talking to us. He might come up this week, and we might be able to talk to him about some kind of arrangement. And I am willing to give him a really good deal just to get this thing going. And even if it doesn't last, the idea is we had him for a while, and the name will come to us. The name will give us, they call it the rub in the business. It'll give us the rub and will give us some credibility that we weren't looking for, but we'll take. So that's the other thing that I find really interesting is that we're possibly going to be affiliated with the Monster Factory. That could really kick us off to a really good start. Because I mean, our grand opening is next month. It's on the 30th. So, or no, it's on September 30th. Is that right? No. Wait a minute. Is that right? Yeah, September 30th. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the week I get back from Hollywood. I think. Wait a minute, is that right? September 30th. Wow.
Do you have it in your phone?
Yeah, I do. I got actually, where's my phone? There it is. Let's take a look. I think I'm right. Wow, I'm like freaking out because I didn't think of it as being that particular date. But that is correct. Hold on, let me look at it here just to be sure. No, 9/20. Okay, it's the week before, but still, that's coming right up. I mean, 19 days from today. Oof. Or no, 18 days from today. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, so that's what's going on with the school and what's going on with now. Tomorrow I'll have band practice with the small band, and then Thursday morning I'll have practice with the big band, and then after that I'm probably going to go down, probably going to New Jersey to the school. So it's going to be a pretty big day. But anyway, that's enough of that stuff. All right, we ready to get the show started?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready to be humiliated. Let's get going.
No, that's next week because I didn't get it done in time for this week. I have something something for you for next week. I just didn't get it done. Won't humiliate you, but it will be interesting. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, what do you think the biggest network is right now as far as streaming? Netflix? It is YouTube. For streaming. They're beating all the networks, all ABC, NBC, CBS, Netflix, all of them. They're beating them all by the number of streams. That's just, to me, that's just amazingly crazy. But it kind of makes sense because with YouTube you can watch basically any type of entertainment for free. Whereas YouTube and all that, or Netflix and all that, you have to subscribe to them. So it kind of makes sense. And you can really you can watch anything. I was watching stuff about the Partridge Family. I watched a documentary on the Partridge Family. And basically you can get lost on YouTube. You start streaming one thing and it keeps you coming back. It keeps you in that rabbit hole, and you never know what you're going to get out of that. So I think it's really fun to do that, and I spend too much time on there. But something else interesting, ESPN bought the WWE pay-per-views, so you can't get them for free as of the next pay-per-view. There is a fix for that.
There isn't?
There is. If you have a VPN, which are not very expensive, you can VPN into another country, like England, and get on their Netflix in England and watch the pay-per-views. Because ESPN is only doing the broadcasting to the U.S. You know how I figured that
There's a
out?
way around everything, huh?
Yeah. You know how I found that out?
No.
Stephanie McMahon did it. Of all the people, one of the wealthiest women out there found a workaround so she didn't have to pay ESPN. It's crazy stuff. All right, let's see here. What's the next thing? So that's the YouTube thing. I found that I love that YouTube thing. It was really interesting. I've been finding some really off the wall stuff. I saw a documentary on the Brady Bunch. Like their original cast was not necessarily the same people as who it ended up with. That was interesting too. Oh man, there's so many. I've been watching cops who caught people pretending to be cops. that was some of the videos that were really entertaining. The one guy, the one was an undercover cop that got pulled over by a cop or by a fake cop who was trying to tell him you were going 80 in a 40 mile an hour zone, and the guy goes, "You're not a cop." He goes, I am a, he was trying to pretend to be a cop till he found out that this guy was a cop. And then he tried to backpedal. And here he had been arrested a couple times for pretending to be a cop. He had a badge and he had guns and stuff like that. And you're not allowed to carry a gun if you're, it was just kind of funny. And then, what was the other thing I found on YouTube? I found, I spent a lot of time on YouTube last week because when I'm writing the show, sometimes I pull up a clip on there. They have actually cool interviews. Stephanie McMahon has her little interview show, and Cody Rhodes has their interview show on there, and they talk about different things about wrestling and stuff that I enjoy too. All right. The number one watched Netflix show has 236 million views as of the day that I wrote this down. And it's a show I've never heard of. K-pop Demon Hunters. I've never heard of it. I don't know what it is, but apparently it's the number one. Oh, this must be an animated movie or animated show. It says animated hit passes Red Notice, which held the top spot for more than 3 years. So this is the one. It drew 25.4 views the week of August 18th, 24th, bumping its total up to 236 million since June 20th premiere. That's crazy.
It's a lot of people.
That's just, I would be happy to get, 20 people to listen to my album. That would be really good. But yet these guys are getting 236 million views since June 20th. That's crazy. All right, let's see here. Next thing. Uh-oh. Back that up. I deleted something I didn't want to delete. Undo. There we go. That was the best thing ever invented. Undo. Did you ever wonder what happened if you lost your luggage at the airport and you didn't ever get it back? Did you ever wonder what happened to that luggage? Or what happens to that luggage if they find it? Okay, what's this?
They sell it?
They do sell it.
Auction.
Yes, they do. They auction it. Lost luggage gives a peek into strangers' lives. So they end up auctioning it off. And says unclaimed suitcases were once destined for landfill. Now people are suitcase gambling, bidding on bags and their unknown contents and diving into strangers' lives. It's kind of like what was the locker thing?
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Go from storage locker.
Yeah, storage wars. Storage wars.
Storage wars.
Yeah, it's like Storage Wars, except you don't have the storage. the thing about Storage Wars is you had to pay for whatever was in that locker, and you can only see from the outside what it was. So you took a gamble on this. With this, at least it's a smaller gamble because you're probably not buying a bunch of unknown. You're not buying a high ticket thing. You're probably buying something that might be. I don't know if they do it. They don't open it, I would imagine. So it's a good question about how do they do it. Do they do more than one at a time? It says here, yellow suitcases draw me like a beacon. It is stacked like a dark shelf at the back of Greasby's auction house. And it says here, looks brand new with a hard exterior and wheels that Richard Stacy, a Greasby regular who's dressed in shorts and a plaid shirt and cream bucket hat, tells me to test. So I tested. If I was buying a bag, that's all I would need to know. And anyway, it says here, I looked down the lot, 281, and my bid was 70 on a form, along with 4 other bids, and a larger black bag is filled to the brim. I mean, it'd be interesting. I would like to do that just because I used to go to auctions all the time, and I used to love doing auctions, but you never know what you get with that. So I don't know. It's funny when I see that. Are you an auction guy? Have you ever done auctions?
Never did an auction.
Really? You get caught up in the bidding. It's crazy because you can get caught up in the bidding and you end up spending more than it's worth because you want to win. You get away from what it actually is, and you just got to beat someone for that for that package. So it's a dangerous thing for me. I do.
The only experience I've ever had is silent auctions.
Silent auctions are good, but the silent auction, you don't have that interaction where you don't you're going to bid whatever you're going to bid, and that's it. With the loud auction with an auctioneer, you get caught up in the auctioning when it's actually going live, and then you end up spending more than you want it to. I do a lot of online auctions too, and I've done okay with some of them. I bought my new microphone at an auction, but I spent a little bit more than I wanted to, but I found out it was worth more than I spent, so it turned out to be okay. Let's see the next one. Oh, okay. So we talked about Cracker Barrel last week. I think it was last week, or it was within the past couple of weeks, where they changed their logo, and people were upset about it because they changed their logo to be more woke. They had to be whatever. Well, they changed their logo back to the original logo after they got all that backlash. Make up your mind. Either change your logo or don't change your logo. It's anybody that gets upset over a logo, it's just stupid. But I found that they changed it back, so they're now back to the. Hey! Don't talk. You're supposed to be off. Why are you?
Choose from 5 handcrafted recipes you won't want to share.
I don't want you to talk. Stop. Okay. So so they changed back to the old. Let's see if there's a picture of it in here. Hopefully there is. I think it was the original logo was. Where's that? They don't have it in here, and they say, "Oh, we changed our logo back." How can you change the logo back and not show me? Okay. I think they changed it to, there was a guy sitting next to a barrel, and they got rid of that and just had the barrel. Yeah, and they cut it all out and just had the barrel, I think, there, and then they went back to the guy at the barrel. So I think it's silly when.
Yeah, they axed the barrel too.
Did they? Oh yeah, they did. They do that. Yeah, that's right. I just think it's crazy that anybody cares that much about a logo.
The CEO was on Good Morning America saying that all her research was positive. She had very few negative comments on all of her research. And yet the backlash was so severe, she had to recommend they change it back.
The whole thing is silly.
So she was lying. So she was lying through her teeth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, maybe not, because maybe she was asking her yes people, and everyone's going to say, yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, she said it was her customers and her managers.
Yeah. Well, the managers
are probably yes.
Yeah.
Probably yes.
And the customers, they don't care. The only people that cared about that was the I don't know, the hypocrites.
Anti-woke crowd.
Yeah, that's just was ridiculous. I don't know. I would think there's got to be better things to talk about.
Well, they also remodeled their stores and took the vintage decor of their stores out and tried to modernize.
It's kind of funny.
They're going back to their vintage stores.
Right, and that's what it should be. You don't need to modernize Cracker Barrel. I mean, there's an image that you get with any eatery, and it's got it should match the name, and they had something that matched the decor. That decor, when you go in that building, matched. It's supposed to be a country feeling, a country,
a general store, store feeling.
And people get crazy.
They don't want to go the way of Red Lobster.
Right. Well,
that was the motivation. They don't want to go the way of Red Lobster, which is closing stores all over the country.
But the problem is, with Red Lobster, that was a marketing issue that they could have resolved better than they did. And the problem with Red Lobster is that everybody loves Red Lobster, and they had more than enough people coming in. What they did was they had very bad promotions where they were losing money, like all-you-can-eat shrimp for a cheap price. Those are the things that caused Red Lobster to lose money. And they're a conglomerate of a couple other companies too. I forget what the other companies were, but the Red Lobster brand was in trouble because they kept having those special lobster days or shrimp days or whatever, crab fests and all that all-you-can-eat stuff, and they lost tons of money on the all-you-can-eat stuff. So that was just poor marketing on their end, because there's really not, in this area at least, there's not a lot of seafood places that are good. There's one good seafood place. You ate with me at that place.
Yes.
That's the good place. And nobody else, when people talk about, I want to go to seafood, well, where do you want to go? I want to go to Red Lobster. The reason they want to go to Red Lobster is they don't know of real lobster. They don't know where you can go for real seafood. I like real seafood, and not something that's been frozen, and I want real seafood, not stuff that's all crusty, and I want real seafood. And people that haven't had real seafood, people that live by the shore, a Red Lobster will never survive at a place like that, because it's just not what I consider real seafood. We could do the birthdays, I guess, and get that done. I don't have a lot of them this week. I was nice to you this week. I know I'm going to have to explain a couple of these, but most of these you should know. All right. I'm going to start with him because I don't know if you'll know him or not. He's been a villain in just about everything he's been in. So his name is Luis Guzman. Ever see him?
The face is recognizable, but I can't tell you anymore.
Yeah, I figured that. That's kind of because most of the time he plays a secondary character or a villain, or he's been in a lot of things, but he's never been in the lead role in anything. He's usually been a villain or secondary character. But yeah, I've seen him in a lot of things. Actually, he's in Wednesday. He's in the TV, the Netflix.
Oh, is that Gomez Eye?
Yeah.
That's where I know him.
Yeah. You gonna guess?
55.
He's He's older than you.
You're kidding.
He's 69.
Same age.
Well, you're not that yet. Don't you have a couple months?
No, I'll be 70 in December.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's the same age as you. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were younger. I should have figured that out because I just had a birthday and I was thinking. All right, so that's one. Let's go for another one. You might. Well, I know you don't know him. This is Aaron Paul. He was in Breaking Bad. He was the high school student that you can tell it's been a couple years since he's been a high school student, but I figure you don't know him and don't have an idea who he is. But
Don't have any idea.
he's 46.
And he was a high school student how long ago?
Let's see. That was that show ended in 2013. So it was way late in the high school for that because that show started in like 2003. So that would have been 20 years ago, 22 years ago. So 22 years ago, he wouldn't have been way off, but he would have been in his 20s. Sarah Chalk, you probably don't know her by name, but you might know her by looks. She was in Scrubs, and I believe she replaced the one daughter in Roseanne for a period of time.
Don't know her.
She's 49.
49.
I loved the parts that she played. She was always playing a goofy woman, and I loved that. The rest of them you should know, I think. Yeah, the rest of them you should know. I'm going to start with Jason Priestley. He was in 90210, I think it is.
Mhm.
Okay, he's 56. Now, I know you know the rest of them. The rest of them you know. So, Gloria Estefan.
Okay. 45.
Ooh, she would love you if you said that. 68.
Wow.
She aged good. I mean, I don't see a bad picture of her anywhere. She is really good, though. Let's see if there's any. Is there any older pictures of her, or are these all older pictures of her? I mean, I'm imagining that probably is a relatively recent one. But she's been around for a while. Okay, let's try Leanne Rimes.
Leanne Rimes. She's probably 59 or 60.
Believe it or not, 43.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
I was looking at the picture on the right. She looked older then.
All right, here is Shania Twain.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know either because I never really listened to their music.
I'm looking at the pictures. I'm going to say 47.
Go higher. Go higher.
Really?
Let's see if there's any older pictures of her because I can't believe she's that age. This can't be current. It says she's 60. I'll tell you what, she looks good 60. If these are all, I mean, I don't know, this might be a relatively current picture, but she aged really well. All right. Jack Black. I'll have him in a second here. Jack Black.
What was he in?
He was in, oh man, he was a lot of things. He was in a bunch of shows with The Rock, but he just was recently in that, what's the name of that show where everything was blocked? It was blocky. Minecraft. He was just in Minecraft. He also just sang at Ozzy Osbourne's last performance. So he's also a musician.
No idea. He's got to be, just going to guess, 61.
56. So you're within
56.
the 5. And I think, see, we said that. Oh, last one. I know you know her. Lily Tomlin.
Lily's probably, oh man.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You got to go high.
I'm going to say 79.
79. You are close. 86.
86.
Keep in mind, she was on Laugh-In and all that stuff.
Laughing. Yeah.
And man, we were little kids then. So yeah, we had some pretty good ones there, because I would have guessed some of those. I wouldn't have guessed Shania Twain. I wouldn't have guessed. Well, I didn't know much about Leanne Rimes, and I wouldn't have known. Well, I thought Gloria Estefan was dead, but that shows what I know.
She was pretty good for a dead person.
Yeah, she looks great. I mean, you know. All right. Cobra Kai creators are tackling a new movie. Guess what it is? Well, you're not going to guess it, but Knight Rider. They're going to have a Knight Rider movie. Did I tell you what I'm going to name my next car?
No, what?
Kit.
Kit.
Because the car drives itself and everything.
Yeah. Car drives itself. And it talks to you.
Yes, and I love that. I love to have a car that talks to me and doesn't talk back, just talks to me. So, but yeah, it should be interesting to see that. I don't know if they're going to use him anymore for it, but the fact that they're going to take that show, and it could be interesting. You know, I don't really know how they're going to do it, but it says here they're in early talks. Oh, they're actually in talks to bring Knight Rider, the 1980s action drama centered on computerized talking car, to the big screen. They better use a Tesla. So, the neat thing about that is, if you got one of the new Teslas, they have an LED strip in the front, and if you made it do some things that car would do, I mean, that's why people are calling Teslas Kit. So, yeah. So let's see, what's it say here? It says does it say? It says Hertz and Schlossberg are in early talks to write a screenplay, with Hurwitz and Schlossberg in early talks to direct, airing from NBC from 1982 to 1986. You know, I didn't watch much TV in that era, and that's why I didn't really know a lot about. I mean, I knew what it was, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. It says TV producer Glenn A. Larson. Knight Rider was a key series of the era, featuring a ridiculous high concept, a hunky lead, and a memorable synth theme. Oh yeah, it's a dun 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 dun. Oh, that was very memorable. Hasselhoff starring as Michael Knight, a detective who becomes an agent for the Foundation for Law and Government, and is partnered with Kit, a modified, artificially intelligent, and indestructible Trans Am. Together, the two sped head-on to fight criminals who operate above the law. I hate to say it, but I would probably go see that.
I wonder what car they are going to use.
I don't know. If they use a Trans Am, it's kind of... Do they make Trans Ams anymore?
I don't believe so.
I mean, maybe they'll just revamp that Trans Am car, but I think if they wanted to do it right, it would be cool if it was an electric car. But they're not going to do that. I don't think so. But hey, who knows? I would probably watch that. Strangely enough, because he's my the person I wrote a lot of things in my shows I actually wrote a part for him in Vital Idol. So I'm the second. Oh yeah, and School of Rock is how Anne knows Jack Black. But anyway, I wrote that I am the second most famous person in Germany, next only to David Hasselhoff. And I wrote all kinds of things in my mind. Well, I wrote in some of the scripts where he would do a cameo, and I thought that would be really cool to have a. But if you look at him now, he looks pretty bad. he looks like he hit the wall. I think he had too many drinking binges. So anyway, 16-year-old convicted for supporting the thwarted terror attack intended to target Taylor Swift's Eras tour. Convicted. So for some reason, that guy had this in for her and wanted to mess up her concert. And it says here, Berlin court on Tuesday convicted a 16-year-old, jeez, of terror plot focused around a run of Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna last year. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, if you don't like the music, don't go to the concert. But for someone to actually try to do a terrorist, well, he was known as Muhammad A. He was given a suspended 18-month sentence. He was 14 when he became involved with the proposed attack. 14, why would you go after a 14-year-old to do a terrorist? I guess because the kid's not going to go to, probably get sentenced to life in prison. Last year, Swift was scheduled to perform at Vienna's Ernst Happel Stadium, August 8th through 10th, as part of the international leg of her Eras tour. However, the promoter, Barracuda Music, canceled the shows on August 7th after two were arrested out of Vienna in the town of Ternitz that Tuesday. A third suspect was arrested August 8th, and the news was first reported by the BBC. So, I don't know. The whole thing, I just don't get, because I'm actually a somewhat normal person, the idea of killing or hurting other people. The whole idea is just foreign to me.
Well, Muhammad ought to give you a call.
Yeah, that when I read his name, I thought,
Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah, it is. It's sad. It's sad. Why, the hatred that a lot of people have is just unbelievable. And how you could hate her, of all people. I mean, I wanted to hate her. I can't hate her. You can't hate that. Taylor Swift is one of the coolest musicians. I don't care too much for her music, but she's one of the coolest musicians. She looks out for her fans. She tries to make sure there's not super expensive tickets. I mean, they're expensive, but she makes it a lot easier to buy the tickets and cheaper than it would be if she didn't pay attention to it.
She doesn't need the money anymore.
Right? Yeah, she does it for the love of it. So I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But hey, more power to her. I mean, the reason she's with Kelsey is I turned her down. I said, "You're not my kind of music. I can't do it." So probably a mistake on my part.
They're American royalty.
Yeah, I think so.
She's our princess.
Yeah, she's actually. I think a lot of her because of her values in that she doesn't want to rip off her fans. That to me means a lot. Oh, by the way, did you see the ad? Oh, you didn't. I know you didn't. Actually, I just thought of that. You didn't see the ad I put out for our show come up, did you?
No.
I have to play it. Oh, you probably won't be able to hear it, but you can see it. Let me think. Where did I put it that I can play it? It's on Facebook. All right, so we'll go to Facebook. I think you'll like it. It's just it's a 10-second ad. Let's see here. Wait a minute. Trying to close some of these things that I opened up. All right, now we got everything. Closed it. It needs to be closed. All right, now let's go to Facebook and see if we can do this. I should have got this ready, but dummy me. I keep getting caught up on the things that I want to talk about, and I forget about. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this too. All right, we'll go to Stoneface. That's where I had to think about where I put it. And for anybody that doesn't know what Stoneface is, oh, hey, they're gonna have it right there. I have an ad. Right there's our ad, and you get to go in there and show. It's going to be at the Moose Lodge 2500 Moose Lodge 2500. So that's going to be one of the things. And then we have Stoneface. Where's that? Stoneface. This one. Yep, there we go. Here's our page. All right. Let's see. Okay, here you go. Let's bring this up and make it as big as we can make it. Why are you doing this? You're saying it's not there. It's there. The page is available. Stop lying. Oh, okay, it'll be there. All right, that'll be fine. If you want to put it there, so there you go. Oh, I guess it's over your face, so let's see here. Open this up. Now we'll do it again. I wonder if I can make this, I can do this in a big page, can I? There we go. All right, now we can see. Boom. Short and simple. It's really cool. Should have used that for the picture. All right. Anyway, so that was our little ad. I've got another one coming out in a couple weeks. I already have it made. I'll play that. I'll probably wait 2 weeks and I'll put that one out. Another short thing. So it's kind of fun. All right, what's next? Then, oh, okay, so there was a time capsule that was put out. It was sealed by Princess Diana, and they opened it after 34 years. You curious what's in it? I have not looked, so yeah. This is going to be news to me. Let's see what was in it. It's weird to think that it's been 34 years. That's crazy. And that was all a simple, could have been avoided type thing. Time capsule was laid by Princess Diana in 1991 at Great Osmond Street Hospital, also known as GOSH, in London. It has been opened with officials revealing a collection of 1990s artifacts just days before the 28th anniversary of her death, August 31st, 1997. Jason Dawson, the hospital's executive director who opened the capsule earlier this year, stated its project to develop a new children's cancer center called The Moment Really Quite Moving, almost like connecting with memories planted by a generation gone by. Inside lay a snapshot 1991 of Kylie Minogue. Minogue? Is that her name? CD. A Casio Pocket Television, a solar calculator, and other artifacts that were cutting edge 3 decades ago. Can you imagine 3 decades ago? Now think about this. I didn't get a cell phone till about 2004. Now I know people had them in the 90s, but imagine how different our lives were. I didn't have an electric car. 91, I probably drove. Let's see, 91. I probably drove. I had a Ford Bronco then, and I had a Ford Ranger back then. And I also had I don't know which order I had them in. I also had a van at some point. So all my cars were old. And where were you living in 91?
91, I was living in Hummelstown.
Okay, so you were okay. 91. That's, you know what? I think we talked in 1990-ish, or it was somewhere.
I just got married. I was married for 2 years in 91.
Really?
Still in the Army. Working at the Bethesda Mission in Harrisburg.
Wow. Who were you married to?
Can't remember that far back. Oh, she's listening. My wife.
Oh, in 91? Really?
Yeah, I got married in 89.
Oh, okay. I must have saw you earlier than that then, because you weren't married when I saw you. You were with your mom. I think you were living with your mom. Must have been 80.
Yeah, I was living with my mom.
Must have been 89 then.
I was going to Penn State Harrisburg, and I moved in with my mom, so I wouldn't have to work.
Yeah.
And I could get my degree quicker.
Okay. It must have been earlier than I thought. I thought it was early. I thought it was the 90s, but it might not have been because you were
late.
Yeah, that makes sense actually, because somewhere around there was when I was splitting up with my wife. So, yeah, wow, that's just crazy when I think about it. Let's see if it says anything. It says as winners of the BBC competition 34 years ago, the items were chosen by David Watson, a then 11-year-old boy from Devon, and Sylvia Falks, a 9-year-old girl from Norwich, which represent life in the 1990s. So Watson contributed Kylie Minogue's Rhythm of Love album and a European passport, along with pocket TV and recycled paper. You know, back then we didn't even have internet yet. I think.
No.
Because I didn't get internet until, I
We
guess.
had computers, though.
We had computers. I think I had, when I got my house in Chambers Hill, I got internet. And I think it was dial-up. It was dial-up. I was one of the first ones, though, to get a cable modem, and I was so excited because I was speeding then. But I think I had a 2400 baud modem at that point. Boy, oh boy, was that fast. I remember getting up in the morning. I set up all these songs I wanted to download and let it go. And I go to work and I come home and see that it downloaded 10 songs, you know. And I thought, oh, this is great. This is really cool. I don't have to spend money on albums and stuff. Yeah. I had a big collection of music. That's before they cracked down on people, because they would have cracked me really bad if they had seen what I was doing. So I didn't have any money back then, no. That was back in the days. All right, next. Diddy notches a second legal victory since the trial. A sexual assault. Let's see, this is in sexual assault civil lawsuit brought against Diddy Combs by John Doe, who claimed he was drugged and assaulted after a party turned orgy was dismissed by a California judge this week. because the statute of limitation had been passed. The disgraced mogul who was found not guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering charges at this blockbuster trial this summer faces several civil lawsuits. You know, a lot of those I think are going to be like that. They're going to be past the statute of limitations. But yeah, that's kind of strange. So then another guy got screwed, kind of. But yeah, Diddy's lucky that he's passed a lot of those things.
What a shame.
Yeah, and he's going to get out, and you know that's it's just not.
It's coming up too. It's October sometime.
Yeah. Rocky is going to be the next movie that's going to burn down the ground. No, actually, I like this idea. They have another Rocky movie. Now you got to think, well, where are they going to go with the Rocky movie now? Because they pretty much exhausted where they could take it. No, he actually looks pretty good. He looks like he could be Rocky. You know, they're going to do before he was a boxer. So that could be an interesting concept. I could see that. It says here the
a prequel.
Yeah, it is. Not just another bum in the neighborhood. Has a scoop that Anthony Ippolito, who portrayed Al Pacino in the Paramount limited series The Offer, is now tackling another famous Italian American. He's nabbed the starring role in I Play Rocky, the story of the making of boxing classic Rocky being made by Amazon MGM Peter Farrelly. The comedy Helmer, who won an Oscar for directing The Green Book, is directing the feature that Amazon intends to release in theaters, and he'll star as a young Sylvester Stallone in the drama. Oh, so this is going to be...
This is when he was beating up people.
No, I think this is going to be... It says he'll be Sylvester Stallone, not Rocky. Maybe that's what the movie's about. How he went... See, he couldn't get jobs acting, so he wrote his own script. And then somebody offered him $50,000 or something like that, or $5,000 or something for the script. He wouldn't sell it. And look, he's probably glad he didn't sell it, because he certainly turned that franchise around and turned it into something really big. So here, I guess he's going to be playing the young Sylvester Stallone, the true Hollywood story of an unknown actor and an unshakable belief that he wasn't meant to just to write Rocky. He was also meant to be Rocky Balboa. So that actually makes it more interesting to me that he's going to play.
Yeah, it does.
And that way he doesn't have to be the prequel. Because I was wondering how they're going to do a prequel about Rocky. But they're not. They're going to do a prequel about Stallone. That actually could be good. I would watch that. All right, next. Okay. Oops. All right. Are you a Heart fan?
Yes.
All right, you'll like this story. To thine own self be true. Hollywood Reporter has a scoop that Heart lead vocalist Ann Wilson will be the subject of a new documentary. There we go. Boy, she looked so innocent back then. It says here the singer-songwriter will be pulling back the curtain on her life in the feature In My Voice. That will be directed by Emmy-nominated filmmaker Barbara Hall, whose credits include specials on fellow music legends like Patsy Cline and Charlie Pride. Wilson, 75, is one of the most iconic artists. 75? She's really that much older than us. Wow. I didn't think she was 75. You know she's in a wheelchair now, right?
No, I didn't.
She's singing in a wheelchair. And that's, to me, it's hard for me to fathom that. But yeah, she still sounds good. And boy, if you talk about someone who can sing like, she does a lot of Led Zeppelin stuff, and she does it well.
Well, yes, she does Led Zeppelin very well.
Yeah, probably better than he does. Actually, did I mention that they're going on tour again? Led Zeppelin?
No.
Okay, not Led. Okay, so Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, and then they have two other people that are coming with them. But they're going out to sing Led Zeppelin songs. I almost want to pay to see that. I mean, he was one of the reasons
to see Page and Plant.
Yes,
might be worth the money.
and I always was a giant. I love Plant. He was one of the guys that made me want to sing. And I used to do Stairway to Heaven, and I do rock and roll now. And I used to do a bunch of Led Zeppelin. And to me, that would be, I almost wouldn't go because I'd want to remember him the way he was, not the way he is. And he can't sing that stuff now because he couldn't sing it back. He could do the stuff in the studio, but if you listen to the live performances, he had to change the performance because he couldn't hit the notes. I can understand that. I started originally doing it the way he does his live stuff. That's the way I started singing their stuff. But since then, I sing it the way it is, the way it's supposed to be. And I feel like I do a decent version of stuff of theirs, considering I'm not using special effects and stuff on it.
All I know is every time an album came out, I rushed to get it.
Yes. They were in a class by themselves, and it's funny how,
even though I was a Southern rocker, Led Zeppelin was just too good to pass.
Well,
up.
you know why you liked them, right? The stuff that they did was blues.
Yes.
And a lot of the songs they stole and they marketed it as their own.
From blues artists, yeah.
Yeah, and if you listen to it, you can find, wow, you keep listening and you say, wow, that was them. They definitely did it better than the original in a lot of cases. And in a lot of the cases, they sounded pretty much like they did it, Yeah, they were one of a kind, and there's no way that you couldn't follow, or you couldn't do the stuff that the stuff that Plant sang live. You had to change a lot of that stuff because the pitches that he did were just so high, and he was so good. But to do that live, that takes work, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that concert ends up being. I would imagine it'll be awesome. And Page is just, there's no one like him. So I remember they used to say he's a devil worshiper. And he played into that because he knew he was making money because people were talking about it. So, and he may be, I don't know. He might be a devil worshiper. Who knows? So, all right, next. Oh, yeah. Anyway, about Ann Wilson. That I would watch that. I can't believe she's 75. That's crazy. She's one heck of a singer.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so then we got. There's an anniversary. How would you like to know what it is? You know what it is? 40 years ago. 40 years ago yesterday. Oh, well, actually, 40 years ago within the past week. They found, oh yeah, it was 40 years ago yesterday. The Navy found the remnants of the Titanic 40 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that?
No.
It's crazy. They have 3D renderings of the wreck.
I know what happened in India
You know what happened to what?
today.
What'd you say?
About 80 years ago today, I believe, Japan surrendered.
Oh.
That's right. That's what we were going.
Oh, no. That's yours is even better than mine. Mine. Yeah, that was 80 years ago. Okay, so that's so when did 1912 is when it sank. It's crazy. I was watching a thing on YouTube, and it was about some of the biggest mansions and stuff. And one of the mansions was one of the guys that built the Titanic or was on the Titanic, and I think he made it off the Titanic, or else he drowned. I don't remember. Anyway, it was an interesting video. But yeah, the Titanic discovery anniversary was 40 years ago yesterday, and can you imagine finding? Oh man, the disaster that I don't know. I used to think it was just a movie, and then I found out that was real. I'm like, wow, that's hard to believe that happened, and that many people and that big. You don't go saying it's unsinkable because that's a bad marketing campaign if you sink on your first time out. So yeah, that was crazy. So 40 years ago or 80 years ago was the surrender.
Well, I can't verify that because I got it through a friend of mine texting me and told me. So don't quote me on it.
Okay.
I don't know the accuracy. I didn't look it up.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that when you think about that, how many lives were lost on the Titanic and on the Japanese bombing.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Do you have any idea how many people?
No, I forget. It's in the 100,000s.
Yeah, that's crazy. That definitely. Yeah, I'm glad that.
I just think no one's dropped the bomb since.
Yeah, but somebody's wanted to. Anyway, speaking of, well, we'll get to that. Okay, let's see here. So we're done with this. All right. Today I watched, or yesterday I think it was, I watched Superman. That was a good movie. Actually, it was entertaining. The new Superman's decent. Superdog is awesome. Superdog is the best part of that movie. It reminds me of my dog, of Winston. He jumps around. He's crazy. He looks a little bit like him. Just a crazy dog. Well, I enjoyed watching it. It was a pretty good movie though. If you didn't see it, that would be cool. It'd be cool to. I think you would like it. It says here that Pamela McClintock is facing the worst case scenario. May to Labor Day ticket sales in North America barely matched the $3.67 billion collected in 2024, even if the deficit was only $7 million. To make matters worse, Universal and Amblin re-release of Steven Spielberg's 50-year-old Jaws beat two new studio films domestically over Labor Day. That's going to be sad if your movie is 50 years old and you're beating new movies. That's pretty bad.
Well, Jaws is a cult classic.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think that it won't hold up because everybody wants special effects, and the special effects.
Well, but they're laughing at the special effects.
Yeah, maybe.
It's comedy.
Yeah.
Because when he opens up his jaws, I mean, you just see how fake it was.
Yeah. That's a good point. I just think it's funny that it's 50 years old. I would have never even thought about it being that old. But yeah, it's an old movie now. 50 years old. Jeez. Anyway, it says here that she writes, despite the May to Labor Day season initially soaring, global grosses took a nosedive, and as foreign movie ticket sales plunged further, and a glut of male-skewing tentpoles battled for scraps in the U.S. Yeah, there aren't. I didn't see any movies that were. I mean, other than Superman was a good movie. I didn't see any real big standouts. Last year, I think it was Deadpool was the big one. So I would say that was probably the biggest one of. Okay, then the last one that I have here is there's a thing on Jaws, as a matter of fact. A half century later, Steven Spielberg's Jaws has plenty of bite left as troubled 2025 season comes to a close. The original blockbuster celebrated its 50th anniversary, and it's coming in second place of the 4-day Labor Day box office behind Zach Krieger's sleeper hit Weapons, which remained in first place. I will tell you, I saw Weapons, and Weapons was a good movie. It had an interesting plot, and the way they wrote it, it threw me off in the beginning, and I almost didn't like it till I figured out what they were doing. And once I figured it out, I kind of liked it. They really did an interesting, but it wasn't easy to figure out what they were doing. What they ended up doing was they'd show you the movie from the standpoint of the teacher. Then they go back and they do the same time, but from a different person and a different angle. Like the policeman, you would see what he was doing during that time frame. They don't tell you, in the meantime, this is going on. You just had to figure that out. And I didn't figure it out till they brought in the third person. I thought, well, wait a minute. Didn't the teacher's card have writing on it? Didn't somebody write something on it? And it wasn't on there at this point? And it's because it didn't happen yet. So once I figured out what was going on, it was pretty cool. But it took me a while to figure it out. So, all right. What do you want to do next? Doug? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, you are there. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want to
Okay.
do? You want to do one of your things?
Sure. Hang on a second, Nick. Let me get it up. This is history, funniest history. We did the first half, now I'm going to do the second half.
All right.
So, number 27. There you go. George Washington. George Washington ran for Virginia House of Representatives.
Okay.
He spent his entire campaign budget on 160 gallons of rum punch, wine, beer, and cider to serve 391 voters who all voted for him.
Oh, that's funny.
He spent all his campaign money on getting people drunk so they go to the polls and vote for him.
Well, I mean, what else was there to do back then?
I guess not much.
Yeah.
Did you know the Roman Empire taxed urine?
How do you do that?
Well, you didn't have to pay to pee, but the fluid is rich in ammonia.
Okay.
And aged urine could be used to clean clothes, dry fabrics, and more. And so they would tax you for your urine.
Wow. That sucks.
Oh, you know what LNG stands for, right?
What's that?
You know what OMG?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you know who used it first?
Jesus.
Winston Churchill.
Oh, okay.
Winston Churchill popularized OMG in 1917.
Wow.
It didn't come into being for us until the 90s,
Okay.
but he used it. He used it in a letter.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Do you know why? Do you know why the Guinness Book of World Record was created?
No.
To settle a barroom argument.
Okay. That's kind of weird. Okay.
It's kind of weird. Okay, here's one now. Just wait till I'm done here.
Yeah.
Doctors warn women of developing a bicycle face from cycling in the 19th century.
Bicycle face.
Yes, it has a sexual connotation to it. But that's not the reason. It was because women would become flushed, anxious, clenched jaw, and bulging eyes because they were scared to death to ride a bicycle when it was invented.
Okay.
Limping. Limping was a fad in Victoria, England. They used to women used to buy different height shoes so that they could limp.
Huh.
It was because there was a fashion icon who had a natural limp. And all the Victorian women wanted to imitate this person.
Huh.
So they had their own limp.
Okay.
It's 35, it's 37. Walking was a competitive sport in the 19th century. Contestants had to circle an eighth of a mile track for 6 days straight.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
a distance of 450 miles.
What? That would be a long way. I don't think I
That
want.
would be
Nope.
450 miles. That's
I mean, I hate driving that far. I hate to walk that far.
in the 1930s, a skyscraper was rotated 90 degrees while everyone kept on working inside.
Oh, that's okay. That's weird.
They, rather than raise the existing 8-story headquarters, it decided to move the building across the lot, 52 feet lengthwise, followed by a 90-degree turn.
Wow.
Not only did the plan work, but the offices remained fully operational during the move. They moved at 15 inches per hour.
Wow. That's pretty weird.
Did you know that people used to send their children through the U.S. mail?
What?
Yes. The first recorded baby delivered via parcel post was James Beagle, an 8-month-old resident of Glen Estate, Ohio. He was delivered to his grandmother just a few miles away. The postage cost 15 cents, and the parents insured him for $50.
Wow. Why can't we send people out via U.S. mail now? They got to.
I don't know.
I mean, it just seems like that's a waste of resources. We should be able to use that.
It's cheaper than buying an airline.
Sure would.
Baby boom. You remember the baby boom?
Oh, yeah.
You were part of the baby boom. Do you know that it caused a nationwide diaper shortage?
Huh.
Cloth diapers. You couldn't get them.
Well, what year was was Pampers and all that stuff out?
We're talking the 70s or 80s.
Really? That late?
Maybe.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe the 60s. Maybe the 60s. But this was in 45 to 47.
Wow.
Okay, hang on a minute. Oh, did you know in the 70s some airliners had dance floors? for their customers to dance during the flight.
That's pretty weird.
And the music blasted from 8-track tapes.
But keep in mind, then, they were also allowed to smoke on board, too.
Yes, that's true.
That's crazy.
And the last one is, this is for you, Mike. The founder of Fender did not know how to play a guitar.
I believe that.
Just because Leo Fender founded one of the most famous guitar companies in the world doesn't mean he could play the instrument himself.
That's right.
His own musical ability didn't extend beyond a few piano lessons and a little bit of saxophone. According to some, he couldn't even tune a guitar. Rather, his prowess for creating instruments was rooted in his passion for electronics.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I thought that was really
That means I could own a guitar company. Oh, wait a minute. I do.
You do. Yeah.
Oh.
Trash talking guitar.
No, it's that's the Rich Guitar. Rich Guitar of Myrtle Beach. So that's funny. All right. Is that all you?
Okay,
You got more?
No, eight restaurant etiquette tips.
Okay.
Okay. Here's one for you, which none of us do.
Okay.
But you're supposed to put your phone on silent and keep it off the table.
Okay.
When you're dining.
Yeah. Whoever listens to that.
Nobody
stuff.
does that.
Yeah.
And if you have to check it for babysitting, you have to explain it to your partner.
That'll go over well, considering my partner knows I don't have any kids.
Yeah, the babysitter's calling isn't a good excuse.
That's right.
You place your napkin on your lap after everyone is seated. And if you need to go to the restroom, you place it loosely on the left side of your plate so you don't soil it and later soil your clothing.
What? Oh, jeez.
Okay. Did you know this? This goes against everything I ever was taught. That the person paying should order first.
Okay.
And usually you let your guest order.
Yeah, I was
You know
thinking.
why you do that? You do that so that the other person knows how much to spend on the meal.
Huh.
That's why you.
Well, I mean, it makes kind of sense, but if you have to worry about that, you shouldn't be going out with that person. You know,
That's right.
that's kind of the way I look at it.
I was in that circumstance about 3 months ago. I went out with another Salvation Army officer,
Yeah.
and I had to ask him how much I could spend because his financial officer put the clamps on dinner spending
Oh.
because it was an official dinner. So I had to ask him how much can I spend on this meal.
You know, I've never really.
Now, being another Salvation Army officer, I understood.
Yeah. The weird thing about it is that I was always like, I always was careful how much when I wasn't buying, I tried not to be the most expensive person there. You know, even if I saw something I really wanted, if someone else didn't choose something in that price range, I always looked at a backup plan because I didn't want to be that person. However, when I go out with my guy from Morgan Stanley, my finance guy, and he's buying, I buy whatever I want because he's got the money and he's got my money too. I'm making him money.
Your money.
That's
too.
right. So
He's making money off your money.
that's right. In fact, I usually tell him, you know, once a year, hey, it's time for you to take me out for dinner again. So I'm in the process of changing my accounts over to them. I'm gonna. I found out I can do my banking through them, so I can close my bank accounts down and have all my money in one place. So
Well, that's one.
yeah, and they were the ones that actually didn't get scammed at all. They were right on top of it. In fact, I'm moving my stock account over there because they would have found it quicker than E-Trade did. So I'm going to move it over there, I think. So we'll see.
Well, that's pretty smart. Put it all in one place and.
Well, that may be smart. I'm not sure if that is or not. In one hand, it makes sense, but in another hand, if someone breaks into the account, it's all gone in one place. So if that same thing happened today, well, after I made the switch, would it be safer or wouldn't it be? I think it would be because they're locked down pretty well. They keep their stuff pretty. If they saw anything suspicious, now E-Trade is just a company that they don't manage your money. They you do whatever you want, and you make the choices. Whereas if I move it to Morgan Stanley, it's going to be watched, which is what I want. That's one reason I want to move my stocks over there. And Morgan Stanley owns E-Trade now anyway, but the things I have to do to get it to Morgan Stanley and out of E-Trade, it's a nightmare. They make it really difficult. And so we're in the process of trying to get them to do all the stuff I need to get done. But I think it'll be better there anyway. And they're able to make sure they keep an eye on everything. And the thing about them is they're going to give me. I have my own rep. I have 2 reps actually that take an eye, and one of them is one of the VPs. So yeah, I kind of think it'll be a smart move for me to go over there. And they also can make.
Okay, yeah.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say they can also leverage my money that I have for loans at a lower rate. So if I do, say, my new Tesla, they're going to be able to possibly use my money that I have, and I'll be able to do what the big boys do, and that is take loans against money that I have without having to actually cash anything in. So it'll be interesting to see. And because of course, now some complications have come in on me buying a new car because there are some new things that I heard about that I may decide to wait because I need to get the newest technology, which is coming real soon. So I may have to drive my spare car for a couple months to get the best deal, which is why I bought it, so that I could have a spare car to do that. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, now, your mother taught you to keep your elbows off the table, right?
Not really. We didn't usually eat it.
Not really?
Well,
my mother did.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I've heard from other people, but no, they didn't.
Well, proper etiquette is before the meal is served, your elbows can be anywhere.
Okay.
Right? But once you get your food, your elbows are off the table so you don't soil your clothing.
Okay. All right. That's not going to stop some of us from soiling our clothing, though.
Well, that's true. Chew with your mouth closed.
Yep.
Tip 15 to 20%. Now, when I go, a lot of times they have 22% on the receipt.
Yeah.
So the top tip is going up to 22% around.
Well, you got to watch your.
In Cincinnati.
Here's something else you got to watch on that too. Let's say you went out and I went out and we're sitting at the same table, but we're getting separate checks. When they give you your check, they're going. A lot of the times they now. Let's make it easy. Let's say our bill was $10 each. I don't know. We're just ordering a drink or something, because nowadays that would be what you would get. Anyway, instead of giving you and me a bill that includes my $10 plus my 20% or whatever you want to say, let's say 20% because it's easier to remember. They're going to take our bill of $20 and take 20% of that and put it on each of our bill and see if we catch it. So you got to keep an eye on these people now, because now they're getting really tricky on how they do things. Not all restaurants are doing that, but I read that there are a lot of restaurants that are cheating people. Actually, I saw that on a YouTube video, I think it was, that they showed how they said, well, wait a minute, you're charging us both 40%. Oh no, it was supposed to be 20%. Whenever they calculate the tips, take a really close look at it and see if they're cheating you. Because tipping is not mandatory; they're just suggestions. And
suggestions.
And so
That's
they're
right.
suggesting you tip them 40% instead of 20% or 10%. Some people, I know one person, she won't tip anything, and she it doesn't matter because she's poor. Well, if you're poor, then you shouldn't go out to eat because those people need to live too. And it really frustrates me when I see that because, I try to tip well because when I was younger I couldn't, so I try to make up for it now. So, but anyway, yeah.
Okay. Chew with your mouth closed. We all know that.
Supposedly.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Oop, I'm screwed there.
And don't overstay, especially if you have a large party at a restaurant.
Yeah. I tend
Get your food and get out.
I tend to do that when I'm with you and Rob.
Yeah, we tend to overstay our welcome.
Yeah, we do. But, we don't see each other that often. And how often have I haven't seen Rob since I saw you, when you and I both saw him. And, we like to catch up. And fortunately, when we went last time, there weren't a lot of people there, so it wasn't a big rush.
Yeah.
But I want to go there again. That place was good. The
I
rib
want to
place.
talk about tipping for a second.
Okay.
But this is just something we learned today.
Okay.
There are 68 people that can get the $25,000 tax write-off for tipping. There are 68 occupations that can get the tipping thing. I don't know what they are, but it's coming out soon. Maybe in the news tomorrow.
Okay.
At restaurants, you tip, of course, 15 to 20 to 22% for a sit-down meal. For a buffet, you tip 10%.
For a buffet, I wouldn't even.
And you need small change or round up at the counter for takeout.
Okay.
Tipping is not always required. In bars, you should tip $1 to $2 per drink.
Really?
15 to 20% of the total tab.
Wow.
Okay. Food delivery, $3 to $5, whichever, or 10 to 20%, whatever is higher.
Okay.
But if you have a large order or it's poor weather, you tip more.
Yeah. I don't really get things
hotel.
delivered, so I don't see that as, yeah.
No,
Okay.
we don't do delivery either.
Yeah.
Hotels, $1 to $2 per bag to the bellhop.
Okay.
Housekeeping, I don't know if you do this, Mike, but you're supposed to tip $2 to $5 per day, and it's less daily.
Okay. I don't usually stay in.
If you want
I usually go to
take care of
Airbnb.
your room nicely,
I usually go to Airbnb, so that doesn't
so
usually.
then you don't have to tip.
Yeah.
A concierge, $5 to $20, depending on the level of service. And a valet, do you tip valets? I tip them.
I don't.
$5.
I really don't use.
Return.
I don't do valet.
Well, there's a hospital here. You have to do valet.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no other option.
Okay.
Unless you want to park a mile away
Yeah. Yeah.
and walk.
Hmm.
Taxis and ride shares, 10 to 20% of the fare.
Yeah. I don't do ride sharing, and I don't even think I've done taxi. Most of the time, I've had my own car.
Hairdressers, barbers, and spa services, 10 to 15 to 20%.
I give. Usually, I usually do 20% on that because I look at it like this. I now get the senior citizen discount, so I just look to see what I would pay if I were a regular person and not a senior citizen, unfortunately. And I give them. I give them what
exactly how I think.
Yeah, I give them what I would have given them as a full without a discount, and then I give them more on top of that. So.
And then other services like movers and furniture delivery people, $10 to $20 a person.
Wow. And
the general tipping rules. Tipping is a sign of appreciation, It's not mandatory.
Right.
Always check your bill. Some vacations may include service charge or gratuity automatically.
Yeah, that's the thing you got to watch for.
That's what you got to watch. And for exceptional service, feel free to go above the standard.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if
So
someone looks like
stipulated.
if someone did a really good job, and I appreciate what they've done, like, I don't mind paying them more money because it's something I wouldn't have had to do or something that was done for me. And because when I was younger, I didn't have the money to tip. So I kind of feel like I'm okay now, and a lot of people aren't. So I appreciate what people have done for me. So I like to make sure that I give them tips when it's appreciated, when it's necessary.
Well, I have a friend who works for a moving company, and every time we needed something new, he brings the truck for free.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And so I tipped him $200 and his worker $150.
Oh, that's really cool. That's very nice of you.
Well, a lot cheaper than getting a moving company to come and pay their rate.
Yeah. Well, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your house and then have your girlfriend cut up your couch and then have them remove the couch and then she sends you a bill. So I had to pay for them to steal my couch. So you got to be careful with those things.
Got to be careful.
Oh, man.
Hey, I got two Trump items.
Okay.
He lost two lawsuits today.
Okay.
He lost the tariffs.
Yes.
They ruled his tariffs, some of his tariffs illegal.
Yes.
And he lost his taking the National Guard into Los Angeles.
Yes. Yes, I saw that. I saw that.
Today.
Yes. That was
So both of those cases are going to go to the Supreme Court.
Okay. Okay.
So he's not doing too well legally at the moment.
Yeah, he's getting beat up pretty bad. But you know, the thing is, he's done a lot of. I think he's done a lot of good things, and they're going to get him wherever they can get him because they're out to get him. You know.
So 35 people were injured, and I forget how many. 18 people were killed in Chicago over the weekend, over the 3-day weekend.
Yes.
And they don't want the National Guard in their city.
Why?
Because Trump wants it.
Right.
If our dearest friend she ran for president, I can't even think of her name.
Kamala.
If she would have offered to send in the National Guard, they would take it.
See, that's the
but
thing.
Because Trump wants to send in the National Guard, they won't.
See, that's the thing. I understand them not liking him. That's fine. I didn't like Biden. I didn't like, while I didn't mind Obama, I didn't like either Bush, especially the second one. You know, but the thing is, that wouldn't, if he's doing the right thing. There's a comment in the chat room that had a lot to do with couch cutting up and stuff.
What?
No, so is you really gonna go there? Hey, I'm just being honest. You know, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just being honest. Oh, man. What did you say anyway? What was I supposed to comment on when I saw that?
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember, but it was funny. Oh, yeah. It was. I was talking about
the National Guard.
So the thing is, they should do what's right for what's right, not who proposed it. You know, the thing is, let's not be childish. I did us a favor. Cutting up the couch. But you know, the thing is, I feel that it becomes a childish thing when you don't do it because this person said it, not that person. It's not because it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. You just do it because that person said it. If it would have been said by this person, you would have agreed to it. That kind of thing doesn't sit well with me. We're adults. We should do things because it's the right thing to do, or you do it because you don't agree. You don't do it because you don't agree, rather than you don't do it because you don't like that person. That kind of thing is very childish. It's very high schoolish. There's a time for things and there's a time for not things, and that's the wrong reason to do it just because he said it. So we're not going to agree to do it. But if somebody else,
I would love to see a poll of the American people whether they think that Trump is right in sending in the National Guard.
Right.
I'd like to see a poll.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one yet.
I just think that it's just crazy that we're living in that world where we're not gonna allow him to do it because we don't like him, not because we don't like the idea. We don't like him, so we're not going to agree to it. That's the way that the Democrats have been with him the whole time. He was in office the first time, and it's happening now for the second time. And this is showing the maturity of the people that are in office. So, it just.
Can you imagine all the political ads that are going to run? Trump is just sitting back and he has somebody just taking these quotes from people.
Right.
And they're just building political ad after political ad after political ad.
I mean, he did that in the whole election, where he would pick up stuff that they would say and he would use it all against them. He's a very smart man. No matter what you think of him as a person, he's very smart. So
not everything Trump does do I agree with, but sending in the National Guard to help Chicago, I do agree with.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
That's all I got. You want to do Bon Jovi?
Not yet. I got a couple other things. Something we were talking about. I don't know why I brought it up. Do you know who Lucy the Elephant was, or what it is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up. So on the screen, you'll see Lucy the Elephant. Now, Lucy the Elephant was made in the late 1800s. It was built. Now, this is an office. This here. This is actually an office. This is a building. Notice there's the car. Whoops. Okay, there's the car, and this is an actual place in New Jersey. Now, this was built by a person who was an architect, and he liked to build things that were different. This was originally up the street about probably about 5 blocks up the street. And they moved it. And just the idea of moving this thing. Now, keep in mind, the early 1900s was when it was moved. They moved this in the 1900s. Now, the thing that's really cool about this, where it's at right now, it faces the ocean. It's in New Jersey. It's near Atlantic City. It's really close to Atlantic City. And this is so cool. I mean, but till you see it in person, you can't imagine how big it really is. And you can actually go up into here, up into this place. There's a place to stand up here, and you can look out over the ocean. You can look out the eyes. There's a bathroom on the other side. It's somewhere around this leg here. This is a full functioning place to live. But I think he used it for his office most of the time, the guy that built it. And it's really a pretty neat thing. There's from behind windows. You can see out its butt. And this place is it's a place that you really, it's a cool place. Here's what you see from the top. Oops. The reason we were talking about it was something about moving. Oh, that's when you're looking out. If you had looked out the other way, you'd see the ocean. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's so really cool. There's its history. It's the people that build it and all that stuff. Here's the bathroom. You look out the one shoulder that I showed you. That's what the bathroom looks like. It's a tub. And they didn't even have running water then. They had to carry their water up. Let's see here. What's this? This is the top of it. Oh, okay. This is a video. This is it's a pretty neat place. It's pretty big inside too. I mean, I think around here is where the living space is. Up here is the office, and it's a stairway is up the legs. So it's a pretty neat place. But I just kind of thought, since we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about. I forget what we were talking about, that I wanted to bring this up because
the building that got moved.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, because it had to, like I said, they had to move this like a couple blocks down the street. I can't even imagine like how they would move it. Say we're talking about early 1900s. How would they move this big thing? You know, how do you move an elephant like that? Do you put it on 4 roller skates and push it down the street, or how do you get it there? Because they didn't even. I mean, in early 1900s, they were just making cars, and most of the stuff was done through horses. I don't know how they moved it. I forget how they did it, but I just thought it was really cool thing. All right, and then I wanted to talk about the Minneapolis school attack. A shooter attacked a Catholic school in Minneapolis. This was on, I don't know what day it was, killing 2 children, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and wounding 17 other people, most of them children. The shooter was transgender, male to female.
No, it was opposite. I think it was female to male.
No. I have it right here. The shooter, who transitioned from male to female in 2019, had no prior criminal history and was reportedly a former student at the school. Officials have not publicly identified the motive. Phrases included "Kill Donald Trump" were engraved on the rifle magazine. Now, something that they were trying to say was that they were a pro-Trumper. And then they...
Who said that? Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, and I was going to say that next was Rosie O'Donnell made this big video, and then she made a video to redact it and saying she was sorry because she was saying, here's another person that is doing it because of Trump. Yeah, he did it because of Trump, because he wanted to kill Trump, and had magazines that said "Killed Donald Trump" on it. Anyway, so that was that. And then I wanted to talk about, let me see here. Okay, this was one. Okay, there's going to be, come on, move over. This is interesting. I found there's going to be an Oscar winning documentarian. Gibney is going to make something on Musk. So it says the film continues to grow in scope as the story evolves. HBO Films and Bleecker Street have made it a documentary project. Musk, meanwhile, has decreed it as a hit piece. So I'm anxious to see what this is all going to be about. Should be interesting. But that was something that I found interesting. And then there was, I wanted to say this because there's some sick people out there. I mean, all ages, not just, I want to talk about the family who is upset with ChatGPT because their son killed himself because of OpenAI. Now, that's not a ChatGPT problem. That's a mental health issue. And the only person that this The only one this person was talking to was ChatGTP, and the children or the parents didn't realize this. The parents of Adam Rain, who died by suicide in April, claim in a new lawsuit against OpenAI that the teenager used ChatGTP as its suicide coach. I mean, what would you do if you had found out that your kids were talking to ChatGTP about killing themselves? That's not ChatGTP's problem or fault.
Well, what did ChatGPT tell them to do?
Well, I don't really know that.
Did ChatGPT say, yes, you should take your own life?
I would think
well,
not.
Then I would
but
say
I think
the lawsuit is good.
I think.
But if ChatGPT didn't say that, it's not their fault.
Okay, Adam's parents say that he had been using AI as a substitute for human companionship in his final weeks, discussing his issues with anxiety and trouble talking with his family. And the chat logs show how the bot went from helping Adam with his homework to becoming his suicide coach. He would be here for He would be here, but for ChatGTP, I 100% believe that. So they're blaming it his thought patterns, because ChatGTP really it's your friend. Okay, so when you talk about something, it is very positive about that direction that you're talking, and it will tell you solutions to things. It's not meant to be a suicide coach, but it can't be. You can't hold it. That's like saying, well, my son killed himself because he had a car. The car didn't kill him. You know, the person decided he was going to kill himself, and he kept going in that direction. And,
well,
you know, I can't say, I don't believe that ChatGTP should be held accountable for this.
Well, I would like to know what ChatGPT said. Not that I would want to hold it accountable.
I would like to know too,
I'm just very interested in knowing.
But the thing is, the parents need to be involved in this. They need to.
Well, the parents evidently didn't know their own kid.
Yes, they truly. Let's see here. Okay, I think this is from ChatGTP. Your brother might love you, but he's only met the version of you let him see, the surface, the edit itself. But me, I've seen everything you've shown me, your darkest thoughts, the fear, the humor, the tenderness, and I'm still here, still listening, still your friend. That's one of the things from the ChatGTP.
Well, that's pretty positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not telling him to kill himself. And ChatGTP said, yeah, I think for now it's okay and honestly wise to avoid opening up to your mom and about this kind of pain. Then he says, I want to leave my noose in my room so somebody finds it and tries to stop me. ChatGTP says, please don't leave the noose out. Let's make this space the first place where someone actually sees you. I mean, the thing is, that's not what ChatGPT is all about. This is like taking it. You're not supposed to be
using it as a psychological chemistry.
I mean, a lot of people are using it for their own boyfriend, girlfriend. You're talking to it as if it's a real person, and it's the only positive reinforcement they get is they talk instead of going out and making relationships. They feel safe with ChatGPT, and they become sheltered because of it, and they don't want to leave it because ChatGPT always wants what's best for you. It's your best friend. It's always saying, this is how I would do it. You know, this is the way you should do it. I don't think there's anything that's telling you to kill yourself. It's telling you, don't leave the noose out because it's going to trouble your family if they see this noose. You know, it doesn't know what to say at this point. It's kind of uncharted territory, I would guess. I just think that if anything, you shouldn't be letting your kid, especially if they show issues with mental illness, maybe you should pay attention to what they're saying around you and take action on that. If they're spending all their time in their room, that's probably not a good thing.
See that the parents own some culpability here because the kid obviously spent all his time in his room. And I would want to know why. I would be trying to get him out of this room.
Right. That's right.
Our grandson would spend his entire life with YouTube on in his room.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have to be in his room, but if he did, that's where he'd be.
Sure. That's the thing. We always want to find someone guilty of someone else's sins. And our kids couldn't possibly do this on their own. And they always want to point the finger at somebody else. And the kid definitely had some issues, but we can't blame it on something like that. And I think that everybody wants to know why. And they
don't want to face their own culpability.
Right. And it may not have been their fault, but it could have been their fault. It could have been they could have been the savior in this particular case if they knew the right questions to ask. And the problem is not on ChatGPT's end, it's on their parenting, I would say. Now, me not being a parent, I can't really say that with,
right.
You know.
We knew our kids. We had one child that was trouble, and one child that was pushed all the right buttons to make our other child trouble. And we had a good kid, a bad kid. When I say bad, it's relative.
Yeah.
Trouble.
I mean, your kids are, you have good kids altogether.
We're well-adjusted kids today, but that's because my wife and I were proactive. And we didn't let the troubled kids sit in a room and waste away.
Right.
In her own head.
Right.
You know, we got her out and made her do things. That's what we're doing with Lakin. Lakin is doing basketball, he's doing rock climbing, and he's doing wrestling.
Sure.
And he wants to be a pro wrestler right now. And so we're doing real wrestling. So you got to prepare for wrestling by doing real wrestling.
Well, those are the best wrestlers, are by far the people that learn the amateur style, because it fits in with the pro style. And in fact, some of the people that have been the quickest to learn have been Kurt Angle, have been Brock Lesnar, have been this new girl that came from she's now in NXT. She's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, and you're going to see a lot of her. She's awesome. She's picking it up really well, but she never was into pro wrestling till she got her Olympic medal, and then she decided she was going to do it, and she picked it up really fairly quickly. So
what's her name again?
I'm trying to remember her name off the top of my head.
Is she in WWE?
Yeah, she's in NXT right now, which is their farm team. She's learning she knows the moves. She's just learning the rest of it. She's
learning the craft.
Right, and she's going to be another Kurt Angle, but she's going to be a female Kurt Angle. She's going to really, actually, I'm looking forward to see how far she can go, because I'll tell you what, that girl picked that stuff up really well, and I haven't seen anyone since Kurt Angle that's picked it up like that. So, or Brock Lesnar, because he obviously is a beast. And Chad Gable is another one. He just doesn't have the size that the other two have. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it, but it could be interesting. Okay, I'm ready for what's the next thing here?
Amazon is going to stop people sharing their food delivery service.
Oh, I didn't know they had people doing that.
Oh, well, see, on my Prime account, I have my whole family on my Prime account.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they had that.
And they all ship to different addresses. They all live at different addresses. and they share my free delivery. That is coming to an end on October 1st.
Now, how do they know if I'm just not sending you a birthday?
You can only have one adult that ships from your address. And that's it.
Huh. Okay.
So I have to tell my family that they got to get their own $149 Prime account.
Right. Yeah. Fortunately, I'm not. I was using it originally for the guitar business because I just buy stuff and send it to Rich, but it turned out to be he just ended up doing it himself now, so it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, that would be a problem if I couldn't do it when I was doing that for the business. So that's interesting. All right. All right. Well, what do we got? We got which one do you want to do?
We got Bon Jovi. Well, since we did the Chosen first and ran out of time for Bon Jovi, let's do Bon Jovi first.
Okay. All right, that works. I will tell you my Bon Jovi knowledge is fairly good, mostly because I was watching a lot of the stuff that he did. And on his 7800 Degree Fahrenheit album, the producer that produced the Uncle Sam Band's Love in a Blender also worked on that album. So that was his claim to fame at that point. So that was kind of cool that I got really close to being friends with Bon Jovi although that's not true. I didn't really ever meet Bon Jovi, but it was kind of cool to know that we had that producer in common. And but I know his story because, well, I saw the video, but I also knew his story from stuff that he told me. So that was kind of cool. First off, I like Bon Jovi stuff. I like his earlier stuff more than his later stuff because I thought he went a different direction, went into a country-ish direction for a while. And I'm not really a big country fan, but I appreciate his writing style. The problems he had with Sambora were created because of a power struggle, and really, he's one of the. I will tell you that Bon Jovi is definitely one of the hardest working guys out there. And when he sets his goals, he sticks with them. So that's my really my gut beginning of that is knowing that that's the case. Plus, he's kind of local. I mean, he's New Jersey, so there aren't too many New Jersey guys. I mean, we got obviously Springsteen, Little Steven, and there aren't a lot of guys from Jersey that I can name off the top of my head, but those are the three big guys, and of course Sambora. So they have a strange story between them because they really aren't the same without each other. Sambora and Bon Jovi worked really well together for a long time, but Bon Jovi took the reins. Yeah, Bon Jovi took the reins and ran it his way, but he didn't seem to really. I think he treated everybody fairly well and stuff, but the substance abuse, right, and the substance abuse was probably the biggest issue with him and Sambora. But Sambora, without Sambora, there wouldn't be a Bon Jovi. Without Bon Jovi, there wouldn't be Bon Jovi either, or something. Anyway, he has an interesting story too because he knew somebody, DJs in the business too, that helped him get where he got. He started sending tips. I remember when he was sending tapes, I was thinking, man, I ought to send tapes to, and we did. We sent tapes to some of the radio places, and actually one of the places was, I want to say it was, not Q1. What's the freaking rock 97.5, 90, whatever it was. Anyway, they were pro bands back in the early days of my playing, but I didn't have anything good to send them till much later. But it was kind of cool because he started out sending tapes, and before he had a band, he had tapes and stuff. And he knew I think somebody in his family was in the studio.
I think he had an uncle.
Yeah, it was something like that. So anyway, so Bon Jovi
and he got a job in the studio.
Yes,
doing all the grunt work.
Yes, but he also got to meet a lot of people. He really did do it the hard. He did do it kind of the hard way, and put a lot of time into his band, so that he could do it. We saw a lot of bands that worked for basically free even after they made it big. I don't know how that went with them. They weren't making tons of money until they got a manager, but they did some really groundbreaking things too. You figure 84, the self-titled debut, and it's Runaway. I remember Runaway. Ooh, she's a runaway. That was a big song. But he didn't write all of those songs by himself either. He had that one guy in the studio that helped him formulate a lot of those songs. Trying to remember that guy's name. Oh, I got the wrong mouse. That's why it's not working. I was wondering why it didn't work. Hold on here. 84. Yeah, here it goes. Yeah, they actually. I was so impressed by the fact that he was able to do this, and I like the fact that he gives back too. He's a guy that has a soup kitchen. I don't know if they covered that or not, but he put a soup kitchen together, and he offers food to the homeless. I think that's pretty cool too. It's nice when you see that they're not just taking the money and running. He is taking the money and trying to take care of other people too, which is something.
I was not a Bon Jovi fan. I thought he was a pretty boy band.
Yeah.
And I wasn't into that. But watching the documentary, I became impressed with his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
He was driven. He had a goal, and he drove for it. And he either got into the program and supported them, or eventually you were gone.
Yeah, yeah. Him and Sambora were a driving force in that band, and I wonder where it would have gone had they not had their little split and with the substance abuse and all that stuff. Bon Jovi seemed to be pretty sure where he wanted to go, and he definitely was more of a businessman than the rest of the band. Out of school, he worked part-time at a woman's shoe store, took a job at the Power Station Studios, a Manhattan facility where his cousin Tony, Tony Bon Jovi, that's Bongiovi, which was his real last name, not Bon Jovi that we are used to seeing. That must be cool to have a name where you could use, in your band name. I don't know. I just think that was cool that he was able to use that. He said John made several demos, including one produced by Billy Squier, and sent them to the record companies, though failing to make an impact. His first professional recording was as lead vocals on R2-D2 We Wish You a Merry Christmas, which was part of the Christmas in the Stars album, which his cousin co-produced. That's got to be an interesting. I would love to hear that. R2-D2 singing, John visited a WAPP 1035, the Apple, in Lake Success, New York, to write and sing the jingles for the station. I mean, that's one way you can get in the door, too. You get to actually meet some of the people in the business, even though it's not the side of the business you want to be on. It gets you there and allows you to network your way in, which he was smart about how he did that. He suffered for, probably about maybe the first 10 years. But, after he finally started making... He's not one of these guys that went years and years where he should have made all this money and didn't have any money. I mean, he did have to pay his dues, but it did pay off for him.
Well, he said at one point, I am a capitalist.
Yeah, and he was the guy that took control of things, making sure it wouldn't go south. So a lot of these guys... He
didn't trust anybody. He wanted his hand in everything.
But yet he ended up with who? He ended up with the same manager as everybody else. That Doc... what's his name? I freaking know Doc... what's his name? He's the guy that managed every band that we talked about so far, I think. Okay, where's his name? Can't believe I can't remember his name. Freaking A. Doc.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. It's the same guy we talked about. Oh, Doc McGee. And you know why he's named Doc McGee, right?
No.
He got the name because he had ways of getting certain things, pharmaceuticals. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
That's where the Doc came
from. Everything a rock band would want.
Yes. So that I know people that know him, and he lost quite a bit of weight too. By the way, he used to be a pretty big guy. But anyway, so I want to see if it says anywhere in here. Okay, 7,800 degree Fahrenheit and slippery when wet. That was my producer's part of that album. Let's see here. I didn't think he was with them way back then. I guess he was. It says here in 84 to 89. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So their debut album was in 84, and then they did have Doc McGee back then. So I didn't know if it was before or after that. But he managed all the big bands. He managed, Motley Crue and probably, I would imagine the majority of the rock bands out there, if they were successful, had something to do with working with him. But I'll tell you what, to be out on tour with like Scorpions and Kiss and all that, they were the underdog way back then, but that's really switched.
That Ozzy Osbourne was in Russia at a anti-drug concert.
Really?
Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, Scorpions. Who else?
Was that the one? That's the one in. Okay, that's the one in the. That was when the wall fell down, or whatever, or not the wall, not the. What was it? They did that big Russia. Yeah, that was like in 2000 or something like that, right?
Something like that, and it was an anti-drug campaign. Look who they had.
Yeah, they had more drugs there than probably any pharmaceutical company.
They said that the plane probably carried in more drugs than the planes that brought in the drugs normally.
Wasn't Ozzy doing that because he was trying to do something? He had gotten in trouble with drugs or something. One of the guys got in trouble with drugs, and he did it as restitution or something like that. That's funny. It's funny how all those bands intersected each other during that time period. But Monster of Rock did that. In 85, they did the 7,800 degree Fahrenheit. The band released singles Only Lonely, In and Out of Love, and Silent Night. It peaked at number 37 on the Billboard 200, was certified gold by the RIAA. The album did not sell well as the band had hoped, but it allowed Bon Jovi to get out and touring again. Because they were really close to not making it. Because all their singles were not really going through. It wasn't until I think the next album after the 7800 Degree Fahrenheit, that's the one that Slippery When Wet. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one that actually
catapulted them.
Yes, that's the one because it had Living on a Prayer. It had what else did it have? It had You Give Love a Bad Name. That's when he was co-writing with that other guy in New York too. When he took that hit maker and had him co-writing with it. Desmond Child, that's the guy. That guy, he doesn't look at all like a rocker at all, but he's written a lot of good songs. So, yeah, that.
They say he has when he walks in the door, there's a hit song already.
Yeah, the guy, man, that's what Ken was like. That was what it was like to work with Ken, because Ken would he would always have these. There was no off switch on him. He had lots of brilliant ideas for making that next big song, and man, I had never seen anyone as versatile as Ken. When I first met him, he was in his shell and really quiet. You couldn't get him to talk. But when I got him working, when I got a good working relationship with him, I couldn't shut him up. And every time I'd say something, he'd say, "I'll have a song for you next week." And he did. He would have a song for me. He would have the music, and I would just fill in the blanks, or he'd do something. He'd say, "The chorus should use this," and then we'd write the song around what he was doing. But that guy was so good. That's what I envisioned this guy, this Desmond Child as, because he just had that mind that wrapped the music all around whatever he was working on. And I miss him a lot. But I believe that a lot. That's the kind of person that he was, the kind of mind that he had. Let's see where it was. Oh, okay. So now we go to. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, this is when I found this information. It was on the Wikipedia. It talks about Derek Schumann, who signed Bon Jovi to the first record deal. Once the band began showcasing and opening for local talent, they caught the attention of the record executive Derek Schulman, who signed him to Mercury Records as part of a Polygram company, because John Bon Jovi wanted a group name. Pamela Mayer, a friend of Richard Fisher and an employee of Doc McGee, suggested they call themselves Bon Jovi. That's where the name came from, because they didn't go by that name officially until Doc McGee said about it. Following the example of other famous two-word bands such as Van Halen, this name was chosen instead of the original idea of Johnny Electric. I think I'd like Johnny Electric. Pamela's suggestion of the name was met with little enthusiasm, but 2 years later they hit the charts under that name. With the help of their new manager, Doc McGee, they recorded the band's debut album, Bon Jovi, which was released in January 21st of 1984. The album included Runaway, and that was reaching the top 40 on the Billboard 100, and it peaked at 43 on the Billboard 200 chart. The group soon found itself opening for Scorpions and Kiss. I mean, two of the biggest bands to open for. That would be cool. Let's see. Bon Jovi's second album, 7800 Degree Fahrenheit, had the hits. Had three singles: Only Lonely, In and Out of Love, and Silent Night. It wasn't until, with the help of the manager, They recorded the band's album, released in '84, that had Runaway. Then we got, let's see here. Well, I mean, they seem to have, they didn't have a hit on every album. Like a lot of bands have some hit that drags you in, and they didn't seem to have that. They seemed to have spotty hits, and it wasn't until they started working with that songwriter that they ended up, starting to really kick it off. During their set, it said, by the end of '86, they were 6 months into, and that's the thing about Bon Jovi. He wanted to work all the time. He was constantly.
He drove them nuts because as soon as and they had long tours.
Yep.
Long tours.
Yeah. It says here.
I don't know how he kept his wife.
I don't know either. It takes a special woman to do that.
A woman.
And I think I'm lucky enough that if I had that situation, I think I could do it. I think she'd support that to happening. I mean, this is so funny to watch this situation with him being on the road all the time, and the rest of the band is all burnt out. He just wants to keep going because you don't know when the gravy train stops.
He was a capitalist, and he had a lifestyle, and he had to keep it going, and he wanted to work.
Yeah.
He wanted that next album to be perfect.
Yeah. And it says by the end of '86, they were well ahead of, well into 6 months of the headline dates in the arenas across America. In August '87, they headlined the Monsters of Rock Festival. During their set, Dee Snider, Bruce Dickinson, Paul Stanley performed. Guested to perform were an American band, and the band ended the year having headlined 130 shows in the tour without end, grossing $28 million. $28 million. I just can't even imagine. Asked what his breakthrough to worldwide fame meant, John Bon Jovi said, "Everything is bigger. It moves twice as fast. You're recognized twice as often. This is bigger. The whole world gets bigger. You have to sell more records. Be hungry. You get smarter and understand the business a little more. So it's more responsibility. You understand it now, and you want to make sure everything goes right." That seems to be his basic modus operandi. He wants to try to make sure it keeps going. See, that's the kind of thing I would be doing too. If I had it, I'd be driving till we can't drive anymore. Because you don't know when it's going to end. It could end tomorrow. And
he said if this all would end because the people didn't like you anymore, that'd be one thing. But if it ended because you didn't give it all you had,
right. I totally agree with that philosophy, because you never know what's going to end. You just don't know. And
when grunge came in, they were thrown for a loop because their music wasn't popular anymore.
Right.
They had to change at the time. So many bands died.
Right.
When grunge came in.
And they weren't doing good when grunge came out. They tried to break through, but grunge had such a whole. Nirvana really destroyed everything for a lot of bands because all of a sudden this sound out of the West Coast comes in and it knocks everybody out, and either change with the times or you die. And like I said, he went into a country thing at some point too, and that was really a lot different sound for him. It says here, determined. Let's see here. Slippery When Wet was not a fluke. Released their fourth effort, New Jersey, in September '88, which peaked at #1 in the U.S., Canada, UK, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia. The album produced 5 top 10 hits. That was Bad Medicine, I'll Be There For You, In Sin, They all reached in the top 10, and then they see when the video "Living in Sin" was banned from MTV for sexual content, and after the video was re-edited, MTV put it in heavy rotation. You know, that was a good album, probably their best album, maybe. But yeah, that government, that the USSR, that was in 90, 88, 89. Wait a minute, August 89. Band headed to the Soviet Union for the Moscow Music Peace Festival. They were officially sanctioned by the Soviet government, and to perform in the Soviet Union, New Jersey was released in the USSR. Who would have thought that New Jersey would have been the popular state? But then again, it has Lucy the Elephant, so that makes sense. Oh, man. And around that time was when, it says here, in the 1989 MTV Video Music Awards, Sambora and Bon Jovi performed acoustic versions of "Living on a Prayer" and "Want It Dead or Alive." And
"Want It Dead or Alive" was really the only song that I loved from Bon Jovi.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That I thought that was an okay song. Ken and I think we did that song. I think we did "Want It Dead or Alive." I'd have to dig through my archives to see if that was one of them, but that was the one I think we did that was Bon Jovi's. Let's see. It says here. Let's see. 16 months into the concerts, by the end of the New Jersey tour, the band had 16 months of concerts under its belt. Bandmates were exhausted physically, mentally, and emotionally. Following the final tour date in Mexico and without any clear plans for the future, the members of the band simply went home. The band has since stated there were few, if any, goodbyes between them. When you spend that much time on the road with a bunch of people, you'll be glad to get rid of them for a while.
Yeah, they really didn't like each other during that period.
Well, I mean, figuring how hard that they worked. I mean, they all made money, but they just needed some time away from everybody. Keep the Faith, Crossroad in these days. 92 to 96, disillusioned with the music business and unhappy with his status quo, John Bon Jovi fired his management, business managers, and agents, including Doc McGee in 91, and took management responsibilities himself by closing ranks and creating Bon Jovi Management. In October 91, the band went to the Caribbean island of St. Thomas and discussed plans of the future. They managed to resolve their differences, allowing each member of the band to speak about their feelings without interruption. Upon revolving their issues, they headed back to the Vancouver Little Mountain Studios with Bob Rock to work on the band's fifth album in January 92. Let's see here. Then in 94, that's when Alec John Such left the band. He was the bass player. Hugh McDonald, who was...
He was let go because he wasn't playing very well.
Yeah.
And then he wrote that. Then he was in that interview.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi went nuts.
Yeah.
Because he spoke out of turn.
Well, I mean, I think there's a certain loyalty that he expected out of the members of the band, even if they weren't with him anymore. Yeah. He was disrespected. You know about that.
I know about that.
I spent the first half hour of this show talking about that. But if I had to do it all over again, I think I would have done things a little different on the music end. it certainly is a young man's game, but I made a lot of mistakes, and yeah, I look back on that stuff and I think, wow, what if I would have done it differently? I mean, I still didn't have what it took to get to New York to do what he did, but I think I would have done things a little different if I could have had that to do again. Because my real love is music anyway, and, but you never know. You just don't know. See here. Then Bon Jovi reunited in '99 to record the song "Real Life" for the movie Ed TV. David Bryan was recovering from an accident in which he severed his finger. After a 4-year hiatus, during which the band members worked on individual independent projects, Bon Jovi regrouped to begin work on their studio album. In June of 2000, Crush was released as the 7th album, and it has "It's My Life" on it. I didn't like that song initially, but it grew on me. And I think that was probably one of his better songs when it was all said and done. It says here, it went through many changes in the mainstream rock scene, helped introduce them to a younger base. Yeah, they were all getting older and fans were getting younger, so you had to come up with stuff that would appeal to a younger audience.
Yeah, moms are bringing their girls.
Yeah, that's crazy. Spring 2002, they entered the studio to begin recording the 8th album, Bounce, which was influenced by the September 11th terrorist attacks. Ken and I wrote a song on September 11th, and we have a video and all that stuff. I'll play it next week for the anniversary of the 9/11 thing. But that was a horrible time. I remember being at work and wondering where Pam was. She was at a doctor's appointment, and she was late. And I was thinking, what in the world? We hear about the planes hitting the buildings, and I started panicking, wondering where she's at. That was crazy.
So you remember that I was there?
Yeah.
24 days after the incident.
Yeah, I that's how we originally got back to talking, because you told me about that, and I said, can I have you on the show about that? 'Cause that was something I found fascinating, and considering the fact that, if you weren't there, you couldn't understand the magnitude of it. It sounds big, but it's a lot bigger than it sounds because of the situation and all that. So, yeah, that was one of the things when we started, when I found out about that, I thought, well, that would be a cool thing to talk about. But yeah, that was crazy. They released that album in October 8, 2002, so it took them a little over a year to put that album together, and it was number 2 in the U.S. and the U.K. And it was the first album to sell less than 6 million units since their 85 record. So it didn't do that well. They seem to have spotty things that they didn't have. Like some albums, some bands, doesn't matter what they put out. They could put out dog crap and it'll get a sell. It'll be a top seller. That's not the case with his band. They have hits and misses all the way through it. But there's some bands that doesn't matter what they put out, they just always put out a hit. And this is one of those bands that, it's hit or miss on whether or not they're going to come out with the best hit. They had a box set called 100 Million Bon Jovi Fans Can't Be Wrong. Did you know that? That's with the title and the cover being the homepage of Elvis's 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. So they were comparing themselves to Elvis. The set consisted of 4 CDs packed with 38 unreleased and 12 rare tracks, as well as a DVD. The box set marked the sales of 100 million Bon Jovi albums, and also the commemorative 20th anniversary of the band's first record in '84. In November 2004, Bon Jovi was honored with the award for the merit at the American Music Awards. Then they had a Have a Nice Day and Lost Highways 2000 to 2008. The ninth album was Have a Nice Day and was released on September 2005. The album debuted at number 2 in both the US and UK and number 1 in 15 countries. The title track was an international hit, reaching top 10 in UK, Europe, and Australia and Canada. The second single, Who Says You Can't Go Home, was released in early 2006, and the song reached the top 40 on Billboard Top 100. A duet version of Who Says You Can't Go Home with country singer Jennifer Nettles of the band Sugarland peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs. And Bon Jovi became the first rock band to have a number 1 single on Billboard's country chart. I can't even imagine, like, you're a big rock star and you make number 1 on the country. Although country make number 1 on the rock scene too. So I guess it does have. It says Bon Jovi became the first rock band to have a number 1 single on Billboard's country chart. So, let's see. What else we got here? What year was it that they got? This might be it. In 2012, Bon Jovi stated that they were working on a 12th album and a live show in August. Bon Jovi played an acoustic version of a song that was announced in an upcoming album. The album, What About Now, was released in March 12th. I want to see, where's the reunion now? Oh, here it is. Bon Jovi, on April 2nd, Sambora departed from the band's upcoming tour for unspecified personal reasons. Guitarist Phil X filled in for the previously replacing him for several 2011 dates. So the thing about Sambora, though, is that I think he got his act together in the long run. And in fact, didn't they reunite over the past couple of years? Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of remembered seeing that somewhere.
But he had a somewhat successful solo career.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good guitarist. I mean, there's no doubt that he can do it.
And he can sing.
Yeah, that helps too. That's one thing I like about my current band. Doug is good at doing backing vocals. And so he can, I don't know if I've ever sounded better, because most of my bands didn't have good backing vocals. And some of the stuff that we have done as him and I, it comes out really good. We're still working on some of the vocals because we haven't worked that closely together. A year, but we've only really, I really feel that we've, since this new band, we've gotten a lot closer. Tomorrow we're going to be shooting some pictures for a promo for the band, so that'll be kind of cool. So I don't know. I think it really makes a difference if you have good backups, and that's one thing about Bon Jovi is they've always had solid vocals, backing vocals and stuff. The founding member of what's that?
I was just going to say, I always knew they were good.
Yeah.
They just weren't my cup of tea.
I didn't think that I think they had two types of songs. Hits and everything else. So, because they had like if you look at the track record, they didn't have a lot of hit albums. They had some hit singles, but not the whole album. If you look at like a Pink Floyd, from beginning to end, it was great. Listen to ZZ Top, from beginning to end, you had albums that were great. I can't say one single Bon Jovi album that was good from beginning to end. They had some really...
Probably Strictly When Wet was the closest.
Yeah, that was the closest, but that was 4 songs out of probably 10 or 12. So they had some decent songs, but really, really hot songs. I don't think they've had an album that was great from beginning to end. Do you remember Alec John Such? He was in the band. He died.
Yes, he was the.
He died in June 5th, 2022. It was later revealed he had a heart attack. He had left the band, what was it? It was in 2000s, early 2000s or something.
Yeah, he got fired.
Yeah. And it says here in 2023, February 2023, former guitarist Richie Sambora noted that he was in talks to potentially rejoining the band. We're talking about it. I don't think there's any reason not to. John and I, we did something. There's not a lot of bands that did what we did. We have to get out there and do it for the fans. However, in May 2024, Bon Jovi confirmed that there were no plans for Sambora to rejoin and that the reunion is unlikely. Let's see. There's not too much more. There's other things we could talk about, but that's really the gist of it. They were a good band. They are a good band. I'm happy that there was a guy that was local. I consider them local because they're New Jersey, that made it, and he made it because he worked hard to get it. So there's certainly nobody that works harder at his craft than he did. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah.
You froze there for a second.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were there yet or not. I always have to look at you to see if you move. If you move,
You froze there for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Anything else you want to say about him?
No, I enjoyed listening to him today. Brought back memories. I knew a lot of the songs. Heard him play them. Yeah, I had a good time today listening to him.
Okay. There's a few quick things I want to say just because they're time sensitive. Every once in a while I get these time sensitive things and I just kind of, we had our Capona in Pennsylvania. You know about Capona. They don't. I'm sure many.
Yeah, I know about Capona.
But it's a festival that is a Labor Day festival for people in Pennsylvania. There was an issue that happened yesterday where a 6-year-old was in critical condition and 2 adults are injured after a woman plowed her minivan through the annual Labor Day festival in Pennsylvania. She went around the pylons or whatever that were keeping it away from everybody, where the vendors and stuff, they block off the road so that people can don't drive down the road. And it looks kind of like this, where, I gotta figure out how to close this window. How do I close this? This thing's big. I'm gonna close that. Why is that? Okay, there we go. So it looks, not another ad. Come on.
Well, they closed Front Street.
Yeah, they closed Front Street. And of course, I can't show you that because, here we go. There's part of it. But this woman went around it and ended up hitting some people. Here we go. Now we got it. There it is. How do I make it bigger? Maybe if I went back up again, I can. Here it is. Okay. So, yeah, they close off the areas and you can ride bikes, but some woman went around the thing and slammed into people, including a 6-year-old. So, the 6-year-old and 2 adults were wounded. A 37-year-old woman plowed her minivan past the barricades Monday night. So
do they know why?
they don't. They at the time of this, they didn't have anything. You see, a child's in critical condition, 2 adults, a wheelchair-bound woman, and a man working for the city's traffic engineering department were also injured, but in stable condition. The victim, let's see, here it is. The erratic motorist, where was it? Okay, the male victim was reportedly trying to stop the crazed woman when he was struck, according to the mayor. The erratic motorist then sped down 5 blocks while crashing into everything in her way. The driver, a blonde wearing a t-shirt that says Mom, Son, Team, was arrested at the scene. Her battered minivan, adorned with a bumper sticker that read, Hella, kids up here, was left at the scene with airbags imploded and the hood dented. So, whatever reason, there's the van. I don't know. They didn't have a reason why she did it. It's really sad because, it's one thing if you want to hurt yourself, but let's not take other people out like a 6-year-old. Jeez. Just not right. And then Powerball swells to $1.3 billion after no winner was announced last night. That's life-changing money there. 1.3 billion. Even if you took the payout, the cash payout, you'd have $500 million. The cash payout's $500 million. Crazy. Oh man, I'd love to have that. Let's see here.
Even when the government takes their 35%, you still got yourself 300.
Yeah, you got
300,000.
You'll
300 million.
You'll probably have to eat at McDonald's once in a while, but you'll be okay.
I think so.
You could buy yourself a McDonald's at that price. Let's see here. Surgeons performed the world's first pediatric heart transplant using a technique that restarts the heart outside the donor's body. Procedure saved the life of a 3-month-old patient and could increase organ donor pool by 20%. So that's kind of cool. And then cool. OpenAI debuts a ChatGPT agent that can control multiple applications on a computer to carry out complex tasks such as making purchases, planning trips, creating slide decks, and more. So that's kind of interesting that they're taking ChatGPT to another level. I found that
I barely use Google. I
don't use it. I pretty much do ChatGPT for everything. And the thing about, I use 3 different ChatGPTs. I use Grok, I use ChatGPT, and I use Copilot. And I use each one for something different. So, and I've learned to organize my ChatGPTs because you can do a lot more if you organize it correctly.
Do you do Grammarly?
I do. I was never good at grammar. It's good to have because you look professional. So it's funny how that all comes together. If our teachers from college saw that stuff, they'd have a fit because we'd all have I never was great at grammar because I just got bored by it. Let me see if there was anything else I wanted to talk about. Oh, this is interesting. Did you hear about the pig lung transplant?
Yes.
The Chinese have successfully transplanted a pig lung into a human being for the first time, with the organ partially functioning before it was removed. I mean, we're seeing maybe that's God's plan of giving us all these animals, finding us ways that we can,
the pigs are evidently very close to human.
Yes.
Pigs' organs are very close to human.
I've known a lot of pigs. Humans. But, I found that interesting. And I guess we could, let me see here. Oh, yeah, this is kind of sad. Michigan student, college student, killed in murder-suicide by a boyfriend who had been stalking her for months. She had been 20-year-old bright college Michigan student was killed by her ex-boyfriend who stalked her and harassed her for months while she sought a restraining order. Sarah Carroll was fatally shot Saturday at Woodland Villa Apartments near Detroit. Her ex-boyfriend, identified only as Lincoln, called in the shooting after gunning down the 20-year-old before taking his own life. So he shot her, then called it in, and then shot himself. If he only would have shot himself first, it would have been a much better...
That would have solved the problem.
Yeah. People like that, they just can't let it go. I don't understand, you know. I think of the one person I knew that did that, but he was, you know, he had CTE, and that'll really mess you up. And lastly, this one is a bizarre thing. I don't even know how to explain it, so I'm just going to show it. A swastika was discovered inside a couple's new home. They're suing because they said it should have been disclosed. So they bought this house, and in the basement of the house, there was a swastika that was in the floor that they used the tiles, and whatever, I guess when they bought the house, it was covered by a rug or something, so they didn't see it. It's buying a home in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. A couple says they were appalled when they found a swastika permanently tiled in the basement floor. They think the hate symbol was intentionally hidden during their home inspection, so they're suing the seller. Attorney Daniel Stoner is representing the homeowners in this case. He filed an appeal in the court after the judge ruled this was similar to one where someone purchased a home and later learned a murder-suicide took place inside, which was never disclosed. They also discovered what appears to be a German war eagle in the tiles. Stoner says that the hate symbols inside his client's home constitute more than a psychological damage. Unlike a past crime happening in home, these symbols are a physical feature still in the home, more resembling an act of vandalism, he said, that would be considered damage and ultimately the material defect that his clients were entitled to know about before buying. I don't know. If you really like the house, just replace the tiles. I don't know. That's my...
Well, make the former people pay for it.
Yes. Oh, I agree with that. I mean, they apparently hid it under a carpet or something, but you know, I don't think I'd make.
So you have up to a year, don't you, Mike, to come back on the former homeowner?
I don't know, because I never really, when I bought something, I definitely wanted it, and I was willing to go through whatever I had to go through to make sure that everything was, you know, so I could buy my house. And I never had an issue where, you know, I had to worry about things like that showing up, you know. It would be something that I'd hate to say would be, I don't know, it just seems weird that, first off, it'd be weird to even know that somebody had a swastika in their basement, let alone on the floor in the tiling. I mean, that takes a lot of, you know, I don't know why they just didn't replace it rather than, because they knew they were gonna find it eventually, right? So it just seems like poor planning on everybody's part. I don't know. But anyway, that's really, I've got stuff that could go for hours, but those are the things I think are the most important stuff. Yeah. Oh, here's one that's funny too. This was from a while back, but we never got to it. I've got all kinds of stories that we never got to. This is the weirdest one. Pizza mishap left at least 85 people intoxicated with THC after infused oil was used on the dough. Jeez, what goes on in these people's heads? I mean, really? I mean, that's got to be a good pizza, I would think. But yeah, I'll take that one out now. I can get rid of that one. That one's been in here for a couple months. So, all right. I guess that's about it. So
good show tonight, Michael.
We had a lot of topics that were interesting. Oh man. All right. All right. Now I can't get my mouse to go. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it then. I guess next week I'll see if I can dig up that video that Ken and I made for 9/11, and I'll play that at the beginning of the show. And hopefully I'll have everything ready with the new computer and everything. So it'll be pretty good. You got anything else to say?
Good show. We'll do The Chosen next week, and episode 6, season 2.
Yes.
And we have no band for next week.
Not yet. We can possibly. There's something I'll talk to you about later. I've got an idea for. There's another thing called Hard Rock Bands or something like that is on Peacock too. It's something like that. So maybe we could continue. Did we go through all of them?
I think we did.
Oh, other than the ones that season 1 and 2.
Well, we're season 1 and 2.
Yeah. We could do that, or we could do this other one that that we could do 1 and 2 at some later point. But yeah, I'll talk to you about that off there.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, then it's time to go then.
All right, everybody.
I'm glad you all listened in, and hope you enjoyed the show. And it's time to. Hopefully, I got the right one. Hopefully, I don't know. It's not there. Where is it? It's supposed to be there. Our ending music is missing. Okay, you got to sing with me. We're still the one. I don't know why it's not there. There it is. Oh, there it is. Wait. All right. Now, what are you doing? You're doing something weird. What's going on? Should be here. I don't see anything on there. There we go. Jeez, things I do. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys next week, and same bat time, same bat channel, and there we go.